everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Quee. This is easily the most anticipated episode of the show ever. Everyone's been asking about this for about a year or so now, and it all sort of started, I suppose, in a way with Callum's post, although there was lots of antecedents to that, lots of history that we'll go through. But that post and him coming on the show and, you know, everything sort of split apart on Don't Flop, and that was about a year ago or so, and we haven't really heard anything from you during that year. What sort of year has that been?
Oh my god, I watch way too much Breakfast Club and Drink Champs and shit, man. I thought you were about to give me some huge introduction. I was sitting there like, okay. So I just literally got no introduction, just what's up, man. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I got completely sidetracked.
I need to hear your voice. People have been like, you've been.
It's literally, I don't know if you've ever watched Drink Champs, but like I watch it all the time, and Nori, he just gets gassed when he introduced him. I was thinking, okay, Tom's going. Oh, he's actually not doing it at all. So sorry, you're gonna have to ask the first question again because I completely stopped listening when I realized I didn't get an introduction.
No. Well, I mean, you don't need an introduction. I don't think you need one at all.
I need one. Give me a little one. Give me a half a Drink Champs one. Give me a drink. Come on, give me a Champs or a drink, bro. Come on.
Well, I mean, just saying, you've been sort of MIA in certain senses. I mean, you've still been tweeting, You've still been around in a certain... But, you've been ghost, I suppose, on the battle scene at least. So what has that whole year been? I mean, I know you can't sum it up briefly, but it must have been pretty crazy.
Yeah, you're right. What do you want to know? Like, when you say how's the year been, in what way do you mean?
How has it felt with the episode that I did with Bagnall and Callum, and then all the backlash that has gone on since? There was a lot of vitriol aimed at you, a lot of pretty damning things said and accusations, etc., and a lot of personal things being revealed, quite damaging things. Like, how has that felt as a person? Because we've all sort of watched it detached, but you've been in the whole mix, the target.
I think, it's so hard to describe to describe properly. Like, obviously, it felt horrible. Like I'm not at all at any time during this interview gonna give it a big one, and act like things don't affect me. I think I'm lucky that I genuinely am the kind of person that can brush a hell of a lot of stuff off. You know what I mean? As you've seen over the years, obviously nothing's ever been as bad as this, but just let's take, situations with Deers, like Daylight, that, I fell out with Ilmac, these like little things that have popped up and lasted a couple months or, half a year or whatever. I've always been very capable of just brushing them off, and it really hasn't bothered me. Like, beefs with other people, I can really hand on heart say I just have ignored them and got on with other stuff. But I think how is this year made me feel, how it's made me feel differently, is that this hasn't been something I've been able to pretend hasn't happened to myself. Because to other people, like I still don't feel like I'm in debt to anybody. That's probably a poor choice of words, but right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I owe anybody, anything in that way. But it's more like to myself, I don't wake up and walk around and pretend everything's okay. Do you see what I'm saying? That, like, whereas with anything else that's ever happened over the years, say little, let's say falling out with a UK battle rapper, there's been a couple. It's always been like, well, okay, we're falling out and that does suck, and it's a shame you're not battling right now. However, you're a tiny minority in a roster of 150 people. You know what I mean? But I think with this, it hasn't, like, I wouldn't say it's affected my everyday life, like day in, day out, but there's definitely days where I take a step back and I look at the situation and I'm like, this is crazy that this really has happened. You know what I mean? And that's what I can say is the biggest change for me. That this is the first time in my life I've ever really had to say, this is not a small thing that is just going to go away overnight. This is a real, to use a strong term, this is a life-changing situation. In the grand scheme of my life, it's not a life-changing thing, but, as, younger, me doing business for himself, it's been a life-changing change to my situation. And I think, I'll be honest with you, I think I didn't really accept it, I would say, until around next in line, when that was the first, unless I'm forgetting something, the first big event that I didn't go to. And there was, Bagnall was filming, Danny Jack was hosting, they had Shocks and Gemini, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a Don't Flop event, which then became something else. And I think that was October. And I would say that's that's the first time it really hit me. I was like, wow, like this is an irreversible change. Like if I want to flip this back around, I really am gonna have to go for it by myself. You know what I mean? And because throughout the summer, I spent a lot of the summer just doing fun stuff that wasn't battle rap related, and it didn't like it honestly just it didn't really come into my mind. Like for example, like you know how Viewpoint was like going crazy, and I didn't check it, so it's like I think I must have checked Viewpoint about August, and it was like chaos. And I don't use that word lightly.
Right.
As much chaos as there can be for a fucking online forum, obviously. But it was, if you can cast your mind back to last summer, like when after Callum's post, I said, because I can just switch off from stuff so easily. I was like, well, Callum's meant to be my boy. That's a fucking weird thing to do. What a prick. See you later then. And that was honestly as far as my thinking went. We had I didn't call him up and say, you fucking piece of shit. He didn't do it to me. I was literally like, okay, I'm really surprised by that. I'm really, really quite upset and let down by it. But I've got a film to work on and a shitload of other stuff. You know what I mean? So things like Viewpoint just got forgotten about. And then it was actually on the set of the film. Someone was like, bro, have you seen the forum? And I was like, I'm not checking that shit. I'm sure it's cool. The summer passes, and then I check Viewpoint towards the end of the summer, and it's just like mad disrespectful posts about me. You got ex-staff members liking anything remotely negative about me. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I was like, whoa, I've been blind to this for like 4 months. What have I been doing? Like, so that day I immediately was like, right, this is a stress I need to, nip in the bud right now. Closed it off, made it private, was just like, man, if no one is manning this forum, I am not going to man this forum. And then, yeah, as I said, then it got up to, that was nearest the time of Next in Line, maybe like a month before. And then, yeah, I would say, I'm going to be totally straight up with you. On the day of Next in Line, I was really fucking depressed, mate. I'll be honest. And it hurts me to say that out loud, because I know this is not really how I speak, but I was so fucking sad, bro. Like on that day when I was actually back home with my parents, and I remember it very clearly. I was chilling in bed, and like I said, that it really, really hit me. I was just like, mate. In the same way that, of course, as we're going to talk about, there's been many lies and there's been so much bullshit I'm going to, talk about and we'll clear up. But as a whole, I was like, wow, how the fuck did you let this happen? Do you know what I mean? And that was the day I was seeing, like, Instagram posts, like Facebook posts. I see maybe you were doing the updates or whatever, and I was just like, this is my event. Obviously, of course, it's always been, Danny Jack's thing, but you know what I mean? It's like, this is a don't flop thing. This is my thing, and I've let other people take this thing from me. And that's not at all saying, of course, I played my part in it, but it was that day I was just there in Norwich with my parents, and I was just like, what have you done, Rowan? Like, this event is popping off. And it's in a venue that you found, and a venue that you made popular, with battlers that you've done everything you can to make popular. And other people have taken it from right under your nose, and now it's theirs. Do you know what I mean? And I just sat there in bed, and I was like, right, like that, I think, put the wheels in motion for me to start sorting it out. And I know we're now in June, and that was obviously 8 months ago. Yeah. But I'm saying all the little things like, the filming, finding new people I want to work with, working out when do I actually want to do an event, just anything you can think of. It was from really that day onwards, I was like, I have to start making, some moves. But the year as a whole up to then was actually quite cash. You know what I mean? Which is probably sounds so mad when your business falls apart and your supposed best friends leave you. But like, anybody listening to this who hung out with me in those few months before October will know that is the truth. That people would ask me about it, and I'd say, I don't know, mate. I don't really know what to say. Like, sorry, I don't actually have that much to say about it. Like, yes, I'm quite upset. It's a bit of a shame, but I think the easiest way to describe it is that it hadn't sunk in yet. You know what I mean? Like it such a big change to go from, let's say, 2015 being massive to 2 years later, everybody going their separate ways and it being me. It's like, that's not going to sink in a night. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then I would say from October onwards, I've just been month by month, it's got better and better and better, as in just my focus has got a lot better. Any feelings of like, oh, my life is so shit, that all, that lasted for about 2 weeks after Next in Line. That's gone. And it's just been like, right, just start to find the right people, start making the connections with battlers who want to battle, start talking to people around the world that want to work with you. Start working out where do you want to base yourself in London work-wise. I've just been talking to myself every day, doing like realistic questions, all leading up to this week when we've dropped the flyer. And now I can be like, right, I've dropped a flyer. I can officially say we're not fully back on it, but we're starting to get to the stage where you can say we're back on it. And hopefully after this interview, that's another step forward. We'll see what the next year is like.
Why did you stop paying Kruger?
I think that's a very straightforward question to a situation that there is not a straightforward answer to.
Right.
So you tell me, what do you think the situation is? Because by asking that question,
I don't know.
But I appreciate how directly you got to ask the question to somebody like me, and I genuinely appreciate that. But when you're asking that question, what's your thoughts behind it of asking it to me?
I just want to know the answer. I know that Bagnall said that he would work for free. And it seemed like, just from what I heard from our conversation, that you just extended that to Kruger without consulting him.
Bagnall said he'd work for free.
Yeah. This is when you were struggling to pay people. I think it was around 7th birthday.
Yeah, but 7th birthday is exactly when Bagnall started working for UniLad.
Right.
And so it's just one of the hundreds of contradictions of stuff that he said. And you have to understand with Bagnall that if he said he's working for free, you can fucking bet your life you're going to pay for it in some other way. But it's not a for the love thing. I mean, I'm sure we can talk about Liam till the cows come home, mate, but it's never a for the love thing for him. He's managed to portray it that a lot of stuff he does is for the love, and that's probably a perfect example. But from many private conversations, and take it from someone that was actually around him working for free for Don't Flop was never just, I need to do this for the company. There would have always been an ulterior motive. And as far as it being to do with paying Kruger, that was never ever related at all. And I think with the Kruger thing, like it's just better to be straightforward about it. Obviously, like with the Kruger thing, it's a situation that if he knew me as much as I thought he knew me, it should have been a very simple, like, how has this happened, Rowan? Because obviously, whatever people have made it out to be, he knows, and they really know, like Liam and that, they all know this. They might not want to say it, but they all know it wasn't actually ever a thing that I would wake up one day and go, I'm not paying Kruger anymore. So the answer to the question is that the more sidelined they made me feel, the less I cared. And again, none of this is justification. Anything I say in this interview is just explanation, not justification. And that's a big point, And I said to Kruger in writing, my biggest mistake is not paying you properly. And that's not something I'm ashamed of at all, because it's just a mistake you make, and it's one that I owned up to. But I think what's happened is that they've somehow gassed each other up to believe that I think I'm clever enough and good at accounting enough that I can not pay a director whilst paying myself and get away with it. Whereas what's actually happened is, I would estimate, dating back to 2016, I really started reaching a point where I started to realize this thing is never going to get any bigger. And again, they can have as many explanations as they want, but my explanation will always be the same, and it will always be that it's just the attitudes and the egos of the people I was working with is unbearable. And it was around mid to late 2016, just every meeting, which was, let me say, very few and far between, but every meeting I was just sitting there just like, none of you give a fuck about this stuff, but you don't care about it enough to let somebody else come and take your place who does care. And it's like, so when that started becoming my main thought, what it would be is that, like, when I'd say have a phone bill overdue, or, you know what I mean? It was not like fucking, I want a new pair of Jordans. It's like when there was like a phone bill overdue, or I needed to pay for, food shopping or whatever, I'd just use the company card. And the thing is, a big point to make is this is something I'd always done. And I'd actually always said, It's really irresponsible of me. And because like whilst I'm doing my taxes, it would always be super complicated because I'd have to go through every single receipt. So I think for 3-4 years I've said, I'm really sorry. I need to be more responsible. I need to just transfer myself a wage. And then once I've done that, that's what I paid with. So what started happening is because I was always using the company card just for things like, groceries, Oyster card, Uber, whatever. And as you can imagine, the accounts are getting super mixed up with like stuff that, stuff that's for me, but also food, Uber and whatever that's for an event. You see what I'm saying? So I completely say it was a stupid thing for me to do. But then what starts happening is I just got more and more comfortable paying myself from that card. You see what I'm saying? That it's like, I think, and that is whether, again, you think that's reasonable or not, that is just the honest reason I did it, that I became so detached from them mentally that, like, every time I'd go in the staff conversation, it was just bullshit, nonsense arguing or bitching about other people, which I then see them sucking their dick on Twitter 5 minutes later. And it's just like, no, I never felt any consideration for my thoughts, my feelings, what I wanted out of the business, what I want out of my life. That was never a consideration for any of them. So once you start to feel like so pushed into a corner more and more and more, and also 2016, like for a bit of it, I was like living in this shit place, and that's not like a sympathy thing. That's just genuinely, it added to it that I was living in this shit place. No one ever really said like, do you want us to come round and like, jam with you, see if you're good, even though I was saying I fucking hate living in this yard. Like, and it was just things like that, you know what I mean? All them built up to the point where I was just like, do you know what? I don't even feel guilty anymore, because I knew I was like, okay, last month I paid myself, £125 more than Krug or something. Do you know what I mean? But then as it went on, I was just like, fuck them, to be honest. Like,
but he's due his wage for his work. He edited the videos, he filmed them.
100%, which is why I'm saying none of this is a justification. I'm saying it's not a justification for it. And I said to him again in writing, I obviously understand you are due your wages, and you have that's why you've never seen me pop up on these forums saying Kruger didn't work for shit. No, bruv, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like them lot, bruv. I'm a real person. I'm gonna be real about it. And the facts are that I fucked up. All I'm saying is the reasons I allowed myself to fuck up were because I just became, it was like a me versus them thing, but I'm sitting there every day of my life grafting, coming up with as many ideas as I can, brainstorming by myself, because trying to brainstorm with them lot in person or online is like getting blood from a fucking stone. I'm there every day waking up depressed, being like, oh my god, everybody is getting credit for shit that I have done, shit that I have put my life into.
What, like?
Oh my god, we can start listing out things if we want, bro. Yeah. Like, okay, every big event, every big battle idea, mine. Every bit of funding behind it, mine. The organization between any little bit, whether it's Ubers, trains, planes, hotels. The only times I passed that off is when it was all getting too much, and I was like, okay, Callum, do this one thing for me. Please help me out with this. Otherwise, everything else, every big event concept, every big event name, every venue you've seen. Bro, this is what I'm saying. We don't need to make this a fucking list of my achievements, because the only people that deny my achievements are them fucking pussy holes, bro. When it's anybody else in the scene, it is undeniable. Every piece of merch, every merch design, every concept, finding the supplier, doing every tax return, which wasn't helped by them ever at any point, trying to set up meetings with the bank, which would flop because of examples like Liam Bagnall decided to say, I'm working with UniLad today, and I think I might be filming Jack Nicholson, to which I replied, I don't think you're going to film Jack Nicholson today, you fucking idiot. What a surprise he didn't. Bank account meeting gets cancelled. There's too much, bro. This is what I'm trying to say to you. They can talk about me like I'm not relevant, like I didn't help, but I had my hand in everything that happened, every video that released. If I didn't okay it and proofread it, it would have had spelling mistakes in. There was mistakes with the editing, clips used of the wrong people with the wrong name on the screen. Like, do not even get me started on what I did / do for Don't Flop every day, because the list, I am telling you, is about 50 fucking pages long, bro. So this is what I'm saying. When you're trapped in a situation with a bunch of people who want to do a bit of part-time work here and there and then piss off and just get the props for it for the rest of the day, and you're not feeling like any single thing you do is valued or even acknowledged, like, you don't even have to give me props for it, bro. Just acknowledge that I'm there grafting, trying to do it. And when it gets to the point where that doesn't happen, and I'm saying Kruger was always the last one I wanted to let down. Let's make that super clear, Tom. Yeah, you know that. Everybody listening to this knows that. Yeah, Kruger was out of all of them. I couldn't give a shit about any of the others because they very clearly never gave a fuck about me. But if we take this battle rap shit out of the question, bro, if we take this out of the question, obviously deep down on a friendship level, Kruger cared about me. He doesn't anymore, and I can hand on heart, I don't care about him anymore either. But back then, I would never ever want to do something that fucked him over. Like, trust me, I've got many issues. I've got a list as long as my arm on issues I've had with him and that I still have with him and that I always found with his behavior and also sometimes his work ethic. But I would never want to stitch him up. But when I started paying myself more, do you know the best way to describe it, Tom? Yeah, is like it felt like I was on autopilot. That's how I know it sounds mad, but it's like when I got the messages from them saying you've been paying yourself more. Like, I'll be honest, like my response wasn't like, oh yeah, I have. Do you know what I mean? I was like, have I? And I didn't say that to them, but to myself, I was like, really? What the fuck? And then I start looking back through, and I'm like, fuck, they've actually got a point. And then I started thinking back to I looked back, and obviously I can't remember, the 20th of October on 2016 or whatever, but it's like I started looking at the dates and I could remember that period, you know what I mean? And that's when I started realizing I was just on autopilot the whole time. Like, I do so fucking much for this company, and I need 70 quid for my phone bill. Probably half of it is from calling battle rappers, trying to get them to battle at our events. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm gonna give myself that money right now. And it's like, you don't have to think that's an okay way to behave, and it is an unprofessional way to behave, but it's just how real human beings with real emotions and feelings behave. I'm not somebody who pretends, like he doesn't think about things, and I'm some macho man that just gets on with things. It's like, man, like I said before, when stuff is irrelevant to my life, I can get on with it. But Don't Flop has been my life. You have to understand this, man. I'm 29 years old. I started this shit when I was just 19 and a half. So it's like, I've done other things in my life during, but it's like, this has been it. You know what I mean? Every day, whether I've been on holiday, in Europe or America or wherever, with nothing to do with battle rap, every single day, I can say in the last 10 years, there's not been a single day in 10 years I haven't worked on Don't Flop. You know what I mean? So when you know and you see how much you put in and you're getting nothing back, because the thing with me, bro, yeah, it's not about money. Like, with me, it's like I've never cared about making a shitload of money. Like, obviously, I'd love to be getting paid 400 grand a year to host battles, bro. But honestly, I've always seen it like my ideal situation would just be where we're all getting paid an amount we can successfully live off, but we're just mentally happy and in a good place. And once you realize, and I'm not just saying this now because bad stuff has happened. I am telling you, on my life, this is how I felt for years. And anybody that speaks to me off the record knows this is what I say. That it's just like, there was a point I reached a few years ago where I started realizing this is never going to change, because these people won't leave. Obviously, not knowing how it would happen in the long run, but I started realizing, like, there's not really a deeper way or a more simple way to say it, than just realizing I don't want to work with Liam anymore. Like, I can't. Like, I realized that probably I don't know, probably 2014, 15, when I realized if I continue working with Liam, it's just going to be the same cycle, that he apologizes for a couple things. I apologize for about 80 things because I'm way more comfortable with doing that. We shake hands. We say, bro, we have to keep this blessed for the good of Don't Flop, because otherwise some people are going to take it over and we're all going to regret it. We get on for 2 weeks. He starts being an absolute cunt again. And everyone's saying, wow, Liam's already being rude to you again. Bear in mind, this is people that are now against me are saying to me back then, wow, he's treating you like shit again. And I'm like, okay, after the third or fourth time of this happening, you start to realize, if he doesn't leave, I can't carry this on and just have a sound mind, to be honest. And the same with Freddie. I'm like, this is, bear in mind, when I still liked Freddie as a person, obviously, but I'm there and I'm just thinking, this guy's never gonna change. Like, he's never going to listen to the tiny things I tell him. Like, for example, bro, one of the most frustrating things about Freddie is that he would always forget things, right? Not obviously not because he didn't care about Don't Flop. He cared about it. He's the only one that cared about it as much as me. But he would always forget stuff, right? So I remember multiple times I'd say to him, bro, can you just keep a list next to your computer? Not a document online, not a draft in your phone. Just for me, I think it'd be good for you if you keep a notepad by your computer, and everything we talk about, you write down and then you do it. Because I was like, that's what I've got, and that's why I'm always working. And he's like, yeah, because he did, whatever he thinks now, he did respect my opinion a lot a few years ago. You know what I mean? But that's just one tiny example of things that never ended up happening. And it's the same. I mean, with Liam, there's about 50, but it's just, and this same with Callum as well. It's like I realized I was in this situation where it's like, I like this guy so much as a person, because I honestly did, mate. Like, no, I have no problem saying that. Like, as a person, me and Callum got on so well, and we had exactly the same sense of humor and used to have a lot of jokes, you know what I mean? Just me and him. So I was in this position with him where I was just like, again, he's not ever doing the job I want to do, and the job that I want to be done, ever. But I like him so much when I hang out with him in person, that even when we're working in person, and I can tell, again, I can give him 20 things to do, and I know the second I get on the train back to London, none of them are going to get done. But the overriding thing for me was, he's just a nice guy and I like him. And then it's the same kind of, with the others, with, say, Krishna and Briggsy, it's a bit different. I had very varied up and down feelings about them, but they all came together to form this thing of me realizing, well, it's either I step away, which I don't want to do, or I tell all of them quite bluntly to fuck off, and I rehire people that do want to work in a fucking productive manner. But then obviously I knew, because I know Liam especially very well, I know that he thrives on validation from Twitter, Facebook, and everybody listening to this will know this, whether you're a fan of him or not. Most of his validation comes from social media. So even 3-4 years ago, I would know, okay, even if I speak to Liam face to face and I look him in the eye and I say, look, mate, I really care about Don't Flop, and if you do too, you have to let me work with another cameraman, because I need to work with someone I can just get on a level with. I knew that however I said it, bang, Twitter straight away. Wow, like indirect tweaks. Like, anyone listen to this, trust me, if you look at any of Bagnall's indirect tweets for about the last 4 years, every single one was about me. Like, or at least 95% was about me, because we'd have some kind of conversation where I would be like, right, Rowan, you need to man up. Why are you letting this dickhead bully you? Like, you would never be like this in the past. Don't let him do it now. So I'd try and say, hey, so Liam, maybe, I'd bring up whatever the issue was. Could you try do less of this? Could you try do more of that? Immediately there'd be a tweet within 30 seconds, and it would be this weirdly, mysteriously worded thing about, like, some people believe that and it's like, bro, I've literally just said, like, can you start picking up your litter or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What were you asking? What were your recommendations?
Okay, so for an example, right? This is going to be a very divided thing, and I'd be interested to see what people feel about this. For example, the laughing behind the camera thing, and it's so good for me to finally say that out loud to you. It's like, and just get it as a release. Right. I'm gonna just be real about it. The laughing behind the camera shit is possibly the most unprofessional thing a cameraman who's been paid, let's make that very clear, paid to do a job, can do, bar not filming / not bringing his camera. Like, so I've always been very, very against it. And I remember the first time at Bruv, do you know how fucking long ago this was, Tom? Yeah. 4BW, Arsenal versus Shotty. Right. Now, you got to bear in mind, 2012 is when Liam was still in his super, super helpful phase. Like, a lot of people, the what he gives off now, the way he tries to make himself look publicly now, is actually how he was about 6 years ago. Because he was really fully like, we can band together and everything is going to be Don't Flop branded, we're going to be millionaires. Like, he really believed it as well as me. So at that time, I had actually had quite a jokey conversation with him where I was like, hey, I was like, yeah, sick event, obviously smashed it. You know, Arsenal shot is probably on like 100,000 views, whatever. But I remember I was like in the staff chat and I was like, I beg you, next event, please don't do the laughing behind the camera shit. And I said, because I'm always wary of how you have to approach different people. Like, I'm sure you've noticed none of them have been remotely respectful how they've approached me. But I'm always like, how can I talk to this person? So I remember saying, like, big up on the filming. Like, obviously, the event was a success. We're all so happy. But hey, for next time, just for me, I was like, I know nobody's complained about it, but I just saw like one comment saying, wow, the cameraman is laughing too much. That's a bit annoying. So would you mind not? And he was totally right. And he actually, to be honest with you, bro, I know you'd find it hard to believe this with how cocky and arrogant he is now, but he was actually quite embarrassed. And he was like, oh, mate, so sorry. Honestly, completely didn't realize, was just doing it because, obviously I genuinely wasn't annoyed. It was just a normal conversation. And then I suppose it got forgotten about. And then it's like, as the years go on, I started noticing, okay, the more popular he's getting, the more casual filming is becoming for him. Because you have to understand this. If he was booked, for a shoot with Adidas, he wouldn't be laughing behind the camera. Right. But because Don't Flop is his domain and you lot made it his domain, and he went from this very, I don't know, amicable, just like I'm willing to work kind of person and willing to take direction is a big thing, obviously. He slowly, I saw it change. Like, I don't know when the permanent change was, but there was a time I realized, wow, he's never gonna go back to who he was when I first met him. And I think that tied in with it. And you may think, why does laughing behind the camera matter? But it's not professional. And again, this is my fucking battle at resume and it's my opinion. So it doesn't matter. Some people, doesn't bother them, and that's completely fine. If you want to watch a battle and it enhances your viewing experience because it feels maybe more live, more real if the cameraman's laughing, I get you, that's cool. But I'm saying, I'm paying you, £200-300 or an event plus pay-per-view plus whatever. If I'm asking you, and let's make this very clear, you're very quick to call me your boss when you need to say something that makes you, that alleviates the blame from you, because you can go, oh, Rowan's the boss. Okay, Liam, well, if I am the boss, when I'm giving you very polite, very simple instructions, for me, would you mind not laughing behind the camera? To go with your whole thing of being professional, you should fucking do it. But I think he got so comfortable. I mean, and the level of comfort he's at now, I mean, he's fucking horizontal, mate. He is so comfortable because all these people have collectively made him believe that it's almost like he's more important than the stuff he's filming. And it's like, if you notice that I can't remember what the event was. It might have been Sheffield 2016 possibly, but I think, don't quote me, so it might have been O'Shea vs My Verse or something, and he's genuinely laughing behind every 2 bars, every 4 bars of most of the event, and a lot of comments are just like, who the fuck does a cameraman think he is? Like, why is he laughing? But then this is the thing, that with it being about what we were talking about originally, about not feeling like I had the power to say it. What I'm saying is that what I noticed was, say, on Viewpoint, where Viewpoint was very popular a couple of years ago, there'd always be, say, 5 comments saying, yo, Liam, you laugh way too much. But then what there'd be is you'd get all the beggy middle tier and lower tier battlers would jump on it straight away and be like, no, I don't know what you lot are talking about. You lot are a bunch of pansies. It's just a bit of laughing. And I'd always sit there and be like, I know what you lot are doing. Like, you're trying, because you've seen Bagnall's like the guy to get in with or whatever. And he definitely reached a point where he held more power in Don't Flop than me. And I'm okay to admit that. And I think battlers realised that. So you get these people that they're probably watching the battle like, fucking hell, this shit is annoying. But they're like, no, you lot, wow, you're such crybabies. And I was just there like, all right, cool. But what that made me realize was, because Liam is so unreasonable and because his life is social media, like, if I even attempt to take him on and just say, hey, remember like 6 years ago when I said, can you not laugh? Well, regardless of the fact 80% of comments are saying it's fine, just for me, and the 20% that their opinion actually does matter to me, can you not? I'm telling you, his reaction would have been like, what are you talking about? You're overacting. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Blah, blah, blah. Because none of you listening to this have ever actually seen what Bagnall is like when he's pissed off. Because you just, and Tom, I don't know about you, but you just see this facade he puts on of this kind of like, I'm super friendly, I'm all for the scene, this altruistic like Liam character he's built up. But the real person behind that is somebody that cannot at any point of any kind of process take criticism. And I know there's people listening to this that know this, but they're so fucking scared of him. I feel like the last one left who's not remotely scared of him. Like, they won't admit it, but it's just like, he is not somebody you can give even constructive criticism to. Because on a factual basis, if we picked 100 people on the street and we said, right, we're going to show you a rap battle, pretty random scenario, but if you said we're going to show you a rap battle, one of them's going to have no noise apart from the people rapping in the crowd. The other one's going to have this, but it's going to have a cameraman going every 5 seconds. Which one are they going to pick? I don't think the people with no link to Liam or the scene are going to say, well, actually, I kind of enjoyed the real element that the laughing gave. They're going to say, I think he's a cameraman. Why is he making noise? Imagine if you're watching a fucking David Attenborough documentary, bruv, and the cameraman starts laughing. Imagine any TV show, any documentary.
But there's no jokes being said. Bagnall's just reacting like...
And again, this is what I'm saying. I don't know you to know which way you sit on this, and that's what I'm saying. You may not be bothered by it at all, and that's completely cool. But you're not the one putting the money in his bank, Tom. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see.
And if you're very happy to, as I said, when you need to alleviate blame, just say, hands up. I've literally seen him put his hands up outside events and be like, yo, Rowan's the boss. Okay, well, if I am the boss, how about you actually for once lose the ego and let me just say, right, you did a great job. Because every event, you will never, even however much I hate the guy now, you will never hear me say that he cannot film and he cannot edit and he doesn't have a good work ethic in general, because he does, and I'd be outright lying if I said that. And this is another difference between me and him, and actually me and all of them, that I can at the same time see their faults, acknowledge their skills. They, with me, have made me almost feel like I have to come out on a mad one and actually start listing all the things that I've done, because they've actually made it out that they genuinely believe I haven't done anything. Whereas I'm like, yo, like Freddie, I'm like, bro, Freddie was editing from 2008. I'm like, man, of course I've seen the contribution you've done. With Liam's like, oh, you don't see how Don't Flop changed when I come in. I'm like, bro, that has never been up for debate. And anyone that spoke to me in the last year can attest to this. I have never ever said, oh, he's a shit. I've never insulted him in that way. My issues with him and with Callum and that is all purely on a personal level. You know what I mean? So it's like when they made me feel like on a personal level they didn't respect me, and they made me feel very backed into a corner. Well, especially Liam. And again, it was so frustrating where it was like, for this whole 3-4 year period, Liam knew that I couldn't speak up for him. So he knew that he basically had me by the balls, to be honest, because he knew I can do whatever I want to you. I can disrespect you as much as I want at any event, in public, in private, because I'm telling you, it has happened everywhere, and maybe people didn't notice it, but it happened. And he got me in a place where he realized I can treat you in any way I want to treat you, because the fans and the battlers are on my dick so bad I can't do any wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you're me and you're sitting there like, fucking hell, how did I let somebody else usurp all of this power from me when all I've ever wanted to do is push all of us forward? Then you do look at your bank account and you're like, yeah, fucking hell, I'm £5 short for this pizza. I've got enough money in the Don't Flop account. You know what I mean? So that's, you just, again, it's not that it's right to do, but it's a situation where you're just like, well, I feel like absolute shit because of these people. So who cares about what I'm paying them and what I'm paying myself? Because I need to do something for myself that gives me some kind of confidence and feeling of like, at least still being human, you know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, like, I would go to meetings and I would try to say things on Facebook and stuff, and it would honestly be like talking to a brick wall. Like, I feel like that expression is invented for a staff chat with Freddie, Bagnall, Callum, Krishna and Briggsy. Like legit, in a private conversation with some of them, I could achieve stuff. I definitely could. And I'm not going to lie. I definitely could. And like I said, when I was with Callum in person, I felt like, okay, we're making progress. When I would spend day after day after day with Briggsy, literally 9 till fucking 9 a day, bang, 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 talking about revival, like, you know, building a personal relationship and a business one, I felt like stuff were getting done. But any time it was a group thing, it never went past the first step, ever. And I just felt like this feels like it's all of you versus me, but privately, all of you are telling me how much you rate me. You know what I'm trying to say? Like very, very like surreal situation to be in where, like, you know, I don't really need to say who said what and which ones, but, you know, one of them would literally come in drunk and be like sending me tirades of love. Like, I just want to say, man, I respect you so much. I respect what you've done for me, for my name. I'm like, cool. You know, other ones, like I said, would say one of them, or some more than one of them actually in person, you know, around any of their houses, around my house, whatever, it would feel like, okay, yeah, we're kind of at least like majorly moving towards, you know, a team goal. But it's just, that's actually, to me, when it matters least. Being one-on-one is like, okay, but that's great that we're trying to build an individual relationship, but I'm talking about as a team. If you're going to claim Don't Flop all fucking day, you want the merch for free, you want to be paid weekly on time, because bear in mind, you're paying people weekly, bro. Do you know what I mean? Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, like all different situations we worked out to suit people, and that's one of the millions of things you didn't hear. But I'm like, okay, if you want to be paid on time, you want to be paid the right amount, you want to be shown respect, how about you show me respect and you either really dig in and you say, cool, we're going to be on this team shit every fucking day until Don't Flop is the biggest thing in the world, or you say, do you know what, Rowan, I'm giving you 3 months warning. In 3 months I need to get a more steady job because I can't rely on bits of money here and there, but for 3 months, let's all keep as a team, and in 3 months time you'll have already sorted out new cameramen, new editors, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? If that, to me, would have been a sensible thing to do. But because they're all hooked on this idea of validation, it's like it was never going to get given up. Because it's like, there's so much stuff you don't know that, like, you know, there's so many funny little bits of stories that Bagnall left out in his. Like, Bagnall's a hilarious guy for his. Like, he paints a very good picture, but he leaves out some very big points. Like, for example, I just remembered that, you know in his one with you, how he says that Don't Flop was going to finish end of 2013, 2014.
Yeah, the Raise the Bar tour, right?
Right. No, but that was when it didn't finish.
Yeah.
But what he didn't explain is why we didn't go ahead with it. And this is what cracks me up, bro. Because them lot can say what they want, bro. But the funniest thing is that me and Kruger, however upset we were, actually were willing to let it go. Because again, date-wise, that must have been when I first started feeling this thing of like, it's never going to get anywhere because of these people. And I think I accepted that. And they were basically like, you know, because of it started what happened with Diz, and then a few things that happened afterwards. I went to India. I got like really, really fucked one night at this bar with my parents. Came home, started spewing some like random shit about like, oh, Don't Flop's not going anywhere. Like, it was dumb. It was really stupid of me, like a really silly, childish thing to do. And basically from that, they all chatted and were like, yeah, you're probably right. Don't Flop is never going anywhere. We should stop. So I get back from India. Me, Bam, Kruger, and Liam met up in Soho, right? And I remember this very clearly because Bam was being super cold. I remember that. He was being so cold, like 2-word answers, whatever. And we talked about it for a while. And I was like, I was very surprised. Like, you lot really want to give this up? Like, instead of just work through it. And they were like, we just don't feel like it can be worked through. We feel like you're never going to change. And that was the first time I was like, okay, yeah, I'm right about this. They are never going to take any blame for anything. It's always going to be put the blame on Rowan because he's the front man and he's the easiest person to do it, because people have this image of me that it doesn't matter what you say to me, I'm just going to keep it going. And that's when I realized it. I was like, you're all sitting there telling me I've done this wrong, I drink too much, I'm irresponsible, I'm late to meetings, which back then I was, you know, hold my hands up, super late to every meeting, fully appreciate that was annoying. And they were like, yeah, we just don't think you're going to change. And this is what it is, Tom, yeah? Like, when I realized, okay, I'm in a situation now where I really have to just shut the fuck up and accept it, or start again. And they both seem kind of long, but shutting the fuck up and accepting it seems a little bit easier. So I sat there in a meeting and I was like, I remember being like, this is a big fucking shame. And I was like, obviously picturing, as you do, if you were going to shut down Battle Rap Resume, you'd picture all the tweets people would say, the Facebook posts.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, this is a big deal to a lot of people. We're a big YouTube channel. Do you know if we shut down, boys, like this is a big life-changing thing? And they're like, no, Rowan, we've thought about it whilst you're away. We think you're too irresponsible to work with, and it's just better to leave it. So I went, cool. I didn't beg, I didn't say anything. And of course I was so sad. Like, I was like, what a shit thing to come back to England to. But I was like, cool, if that's really how you feel, let's meet up again and let's really sit there and let's leave it at that. And I really went away. And this is what I mean, because Don't Flop doesn't validate me. Like, of course, it's given me a name. It's made me but I'm Rowan. Like, every time when people save my number in their phone, like, they always say, what shall I save me as? I always say Rowan And they're always like, why? And I say, because I am not before Rowan. But the difference between them is, Bagnall especially, he became... And he still is. He's Bagnall before he's Liam. You know what I'm saying? Because they're very different people. Liam, when he came in, was a mild-mannered, polite, lovely, talented guy. Bagnall is a rude, obnoxious motherfucker. Like, as people have seen, as he's let it out bit by bit. So I think what it is that we went away. And to be honest, I was sad. But I thought, well, this doesn't change the grand scheme of my life. Because I'll just get a better job. And I know what Rowan is capable of because of what my CV says has done. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I didn't say anything more about it. And we said, cool, we'll meet up in a week. And we went away. And we met back up in Soho again about a week later in this pub we used to always have meetings at. And I was there, like, literally, there was no inkling that anyone's mind has changed at all, right? And I sat there and I'm like, cool, so let's get talking. Like, I'm on it because, bro, like, once I get something in my head, it's done. Let's make it happen. You know what I mean? So I'm like, cool, if Don't Flop's stopping, let's do this now. Let's end it now. Let's fuck the bullshit. Let's end it right now. What, like, right, tell me. And we sit down and I can feel it's all a little bit awkward. And I'm like, what's going on? And Liam, like, to be fair, one of the only times he's ever been direct in his life is just like, he's just like, right, so yeah, I don't actually think we should stop. And I was just like, pardon? Because obviously, imagine being, I've psyched myself up to end my own company because people I've brought on board don't think they can work with me. And I know how stupid that is, but I've psyched myself up and I'm like, pardon? And he's like, yeah, I mean, I've been thinking and basically, like, maybe we should just give it another go. And it's like, I realized in that moment, I was like, okay, bro, what you've realized is this validation being a battle rap face gives you means so much to you. And he realized if I leave, I lose it all. And I'm back to just like Liam. And I'm not at all saying he couldn't get a good job and have a life, but he's back to just being Liam. And I think he was starting to realize, because you have to remember, this is around the Ian Daniels time, right? And that's very important. I know everyone's forgotten about that, right? But that's a very big part of this story. That's around the Ian Daniels time where, he's in this group of people. Everyone's like, Bagnall, you're like the Ian Daniels cameraman. And first said to my face, I put Bagnall in Ian Daniels so I'd have a direct link to Don't Flop. Like, he said that, but like, to my face in his car, he told me that. And it's like around that, so you got to remember that they're gassing him up. He's going to their barbecues, their fucking drink ups, whatever. And it's like he doesn't want to lose that because he knows if Don't Flop stops running, then he's just Liam with a camera and all of them lot are going to be like, oh, well, yeah, maybe come, but we kind of wanted you because you can get us on Don't Flop. You see what I'm saying? So, and obviously I didn't say all of this in a fucking pub, but I mean, that's, what I realized. So I'm there like, right, do you want to explain this anymore? Like, because no one seems to have any actual explanation of what's happened. And they're all like, well, yeah, I don't know. Like, it just seems like a bit of a shame, really. And I'm sitting there like, hold on a minute. Last week, I said all of this. I said, seriously, why don't we just agree what we hate about each other, say we're not going to do it again, and fucking move on? And now suddenly, it's not worth losing. I'm like, bro, I know it's not worth losing, but you told me I've got to lose it and I have no other choice. And then the conversation goes on, and I'm like, I literally was like, I mean, okay, like, I'm very surprised by this and I don't really know what to say. But fair enough. Like, if you want to carry on, obviously I'm happy to carry on. And it was there and then we said, cool, what's the biggest way we can come back after, like fucking KOTD obviously had that blackout where everyone was dissing the flop. Diz had his blog dissing me, and we obviously there's a lot of hate coming towards us. So we were like, what's the best way we can shut this down? And we were like, a tour. And fair enough, we definitely underestimated how much work that tour would be, which is why some legs of it were a bit subpar. But that was our plan, was just to be like, we're going to come back so hard that, to be honest, no one will even have this tiniest inkling we were ever going to stop. You know what I mean? Because at that time, Bagnall had control of his tweeting, and so did Bam. I mean, Bam used to tweet fucking weird, I don't know, fucking Instagram memes and stuff. But I mean, they all kind of, there wasn't, to my memory, none of us said something publicly that implied Don't Flop was stopping. And when I went home that day, I was just laughing. Like, this is so jokes. Like, nobody wants to listen to They see as blah, blah, blah. Oh, as soon as Er's talking, it's going to be bullshit, turn off. But if you actually fucking listen to me, and if they listened to me the first time, we would have, from years before, when I'm just trying to make suggestions, we could have done so much cool shit. But this is what I mean. Like, it's the same example of, when they say like how like a woman will make a point and a man will just remix it and say it 20 seconds later. It's like, that's how it felt. That I'm sitting there like, you lot are just regurgitating everything I said that you laughed at. And Bam's there being all friendly. Like, nah, bro, do you know what? Yeah, Don't Flop sick, man. It's been a good run. I want to carry on. I'm thinking, bro, a week ago, you couldn't even look me in the fucking face, you prick. Do you know what I mean? And it was from that day, I was like, all right, I'm going to keep working with you. This is about Bam specifically. From that day, I was like, cool, I'm going to keep working with you, but always in the back of my mind, I'm going to know you're a snake, because you valued Liam's friendship over mine, which is fine. So when Liam told you to leave and said he's leaving, you were like, yeah, fuck, bro, and he ain't my boss no more, I'll disrespect him. The second Liam wants to get back in, Bam's on his polite shit. Yeah, man, let's get this regular event popping. Let's do it. Do you know what I mean? I was like, fucking hell, man. The fakeness just begins now. And and then we slowly started rebuilding our relationships, bit by bit. But but as we're building it, I'm always like, okay, I respect this part of your personality, I respect that part of your personality, but I'm always going to remember all of you were ready to snake me at the fucking first chance you got. And it's only because you realize without me and my channel, you're all irrelevant. That's the reason you came back in my life. And I was always like, okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. And every meeting we had, every drink up at my house when I invited them round, every day at the cinema, every single one of them, in the back of my mind, I was like, I like some stuff about you lot, but I need to always remember that if it comes down to it, like it's come down to it a year ago, you will all drop me in the blink of an eye. You know what I mean? And it was, and I think it still affects me mentally now. Like, I think spending so much of your life around people that don't want to take you seriously, like, it's a very tiring process, bro. Like, it's very, very tiring, and it makes you start to second guess everything about yourself. And for someone like me, who is so confident, has so much self-belief, when I started realizing, fucking hell, even me, they are making me lose belief in myself, because what they're implying is that nothing I ever say is relevant. And you can pick that up, not 100%, but from little things Callum and Liam said. Liam more than Callum, but to be honest, actually, no, probably equal. Like, from things they dropped in and comments they made, you can start to see what I'm talking about. That they've got this culture they created, where it's like, in public we'll say Rowan's the boss, but in private, we're going to actually bully him as much as we can, to the point he snaps. Because I think that's what they wanted to happen. Instead of Callum posting a thing or Liam posting a thing, I think they wanted it to be that they bullied me so much, day after day after day, by just basically ignoring me. the eye snapped, and then it all falls apart, and it looks like it's because it's my choice. You see what I mean? But eventually, I think they realize we're never going to get him to a point where he snaps, because I would never give someone the satisfaction, like someone as low as Liam, Callum, Freddie, people like that, like people of that ilk of person who is willing to really try and mentally tear down another human being who's put money in your pocket. Like, I'm obviously, any time I felt depressed, let's say next in line, we're skipping forward a few years, but let's say the last next in line. Anytime I felt like that day was definitely probably my lowest day of last year. But even on that day, I thought, these motherfuckers will not beat me. And this, I don't want to sound like some, depression awareness advert, but I'm just being real. I would speak to myself and I would say, these people are worth nothing. You do not ever let them convince you that you are worth anything less than what you know you're worth. Like, I know I am an asset to any business, any company. I know that I can fucking battle better than 90% of people. Like, I believe in myself, and I know I'm a good person. That's the thing. I think this is what the last year has been about. It's been about, like, them lot trying to put forward this narrative that I'm a bad person, and it's like, you will never make me believe that. And I think to a degree, you'll never make other people believe that. Like, obviously the pussy-holes on the forums, like the fucking, them random text battlers that suddenly now come out of their bedrooms, they suck everything, they hang on every single thing they say. And that's fine, because those people aren't in my life. They'd never be on Don't Flop. They're never going to get more than 400 views. They mean nothing. But it's like anyone, who's met me in person, who's met them, people I still deal with, people I talk to, that they can see what's been trying to happen. That's why you see, people like Tox, obviously got to majorly shout out Tox, and people like him who read all the hate, and instead of taking it in and believing it, are just like, wow, you lot of fucking sheep. Because it's like, that's the case. And the same as someone like you. I'm not just going to, praise you because I'm on your show. I'm just saying, you have always been very clear to me that you're going to give them a clear say, but you're going to give me an equally clear say. And that's why I've always said, Tom, I will come on the show when I think it is right to come on the show, because I didn't think it's a time window that's going to close up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I know. We don't know each other that well, but I know you're an upstanding person. I know Tox is an upstanding person. I know everybody else that's backed me is an upstanding person. The people like Sean, who speak to me damn near every single day. He's an upstanding, real person. But again, all of you lot have never ever said to me, oh, just because we're giving you a chance, that means we just agree with you. Like, I fully understand saying that I am owed my chance to speak is not an admission of me telling the truth. Like, I could be lying about everything I'm saying, and I understand that. But all I've ever wanted is for people to just take a step back and realize, okay, there's probably a lot of lies being spread, and there's clearly a motive. And the motive is very clear. The motive has been to try bit by bit to chip away at my image and my personality in public, and chip away at me in private, to the point they can completely oust me from the scene and I'm gone. And I think they finally, in the last couple months, realized they will never do it. Like, because I would never let people like that win. You have to understand, like when what Liam said about them offering me, a salary, whatever he said about offering me a salary to sit in the background. It's like, that's another example. It's like, with me, if you approach me in the right way, you can get anything out of me. Do you know the amount of shit I have given people and let people have and hooked people up stuff just because they speak to me with respect like a human being? Like, so that thing like that, of course I don't want to give up my power and sit in the background. But if they just came to me and were like, if they just came to me and said, look, we do appreciate what you've done, and we know you've done this, and maybe, to be honest, maybe stroked my ego a little bit, and just been like, look, we understand you put years of work and you've set up all these big events, the biggest events that have ever happened in Don't Flop are under my watch, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just compliment me a bit like that and say, however, we feel like blah, 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 blah. Your head's not in the, the right frame of mind to be a director, but we care about you. And we feel like if you take a back seat, chill for a little bit or for a year, blah, blah, blah. Bro, I am telling you, hand on heart, I would have said, cool. I respect the way you've approached me. And I really appreciate how much you've taken my thoughts as a fucking man into account, my dignity, do you know what I mean? But coming at me on some flex of just like, to be honest, yeah, we're all thinking you should just blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, like, do you really think I'm going to let you talk to me like that? And all the things that, I can't remember what Callum said in this thing, but all the things Callum said, all the things Liam said, it's like, bro, yes, all these things that you haven't got out of me and these ways you feel mistreated, it's because you've approached me like a cunt, and I'm not a cunt. Like, if you just, anybody listen to this, man, if you want to do business with me, you want to get something done, you think I'm used to you or you're used to me, all you have to do is just approach me like a fucking man. But them lot are so used to this social media digital age where everything is about likes and retweets. It's like, bro, it's not about that for me. Why do you think I'm not in the forums? I'm not tweeting about them every day. I'm not doing blogs about them every day, because they're not worth my fucking time. So I don't pretend they are. But if you want to come to me and you want to say something as serious as, we want you to leave your own company, have the fucking common sense to approach me politely. You know what I'm saying? And there's been so many things over the years, like little things they've asked for, little things they've wanted, but it's been a demand, like especially Liam. Like the others, Freddie, obviously as a person, Freddie's never been rude, you know what I mean? I don't like the way he's behaving now, but he's never been rude to my face. Whereas Liam, you know, Liam would be rude on Facebook, on Twitter, he would be rude in person, he would be very intimidating and aggressive in person, just for the tiniest things. For, you know, literally, I had to call him up at an event because someone had left a bag in the cloakroom of ministry. And he was just like, okay, I'm coming then. What a fucking surprise. Liam to the rescue. And I was like, mate, I'm literally just telling you, there's a bag backstage. It might have your camera equipment in. I don't know. And he was like, no worries, Rowan. No worries. Put the phone down. This is the kind of person you lot idolize. This is what I'm saying to you, bro. This is why I don't mind when I do my battle rap resume. I don't mind when I do other shows, because these people won't change and my opinions won't change. If I did this in 5 fucking years, these people are still the same people. Liam Bagnall is still a low-life, non-trustworthy, snaky piece of shit. Freddie, still a snake. Callum, still a snake. Danny Jack, we ain't even spoke about that fucking prick yet.
Wow.
Snake, bro. I mean, we can do a whole different show on him. But none of these people will change. They're all gonna be snakes forever. And it's just like, it's finally my time to start enlightening people, because people need to understand. And a situation in real life, like, Tom, let me ask you this straight up, bro, yeah? And I'll be really honest with you, man. And if you don't just give me the answer you think I want you to give me, right? Do you think, be honest, if I was happy in my life and I was happy with them, do you think I would have taken the money like I did?
I suppose not, but I don't know if it excuses the behaviour, I'm afraid.
No. Yeah. We're not saying that. We're not saying it excuses anything. I'm asking you, man to man, what do you think? Do you think if I was happy in myself, and I don't mean like I can blame depression for stealing money. Right. I'm saying happy in myself by the way I'm being treated by my peers and my colleagues, right? Bear in mind, they're meant to be my friends outside of rap as well. And I'm asking you, if I was happy with them, I was in regular contact with Kruger. Bro, you have to remember this. Me and Freddie lived 10 minutes away from each other. I can count on one hand the amount of times he came around my house to work, because he's just not interested, bro. That's what I'm saying. He's put forward this thing of like, Rowan didn't let me work. Bro, I'm ready to work every fucking day. You don't understand. When I had this team, I'm just like, why have I got stuck with a fucking team of people that don't want to meet up and do anything? Because they think, what, they've got it on me that I'm late to a meeting. Fuck the meeting, bruv. I'll turn up to the meeting. Nothing will get done. I'm saying, yo, I live 10 minutes from Freddie. Liam lived 10 minutes from that. The other's not even that far. I'm like, bro, we should be meeting up 4 days a week, hammering this work out. Bang, bang, bang. Work non-stop. I'm trying to make money, bro. I'm trying to buy a fucking house, not waste money on fucking Nando's and get called a dickhead for it. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, if I'm not in a situation where I feel like I can do that and you're making no effort to work with me, then obviously I'm going to end up in a position where I'm like, fuck your money and fuck you, because I deserve the money, because I'm the one that takes the brunt of everything. You cannot tell me a single time, bro, that anything has gone wrong with Don't Flop, a minute problem or a major problem, and I haven't got the blame 100%. When Daylight, let's talk about Daylight, bro. When Daylight got turned away from 5BW, Bamalam was there with me, bro. Let's make this categorically fucking clear. That lying little dickhead was there with me at Victoria Station in Wetherspoons whilst I'm there on the phone to customs trying to explain blah blah blah, Devon Campbell is my friend, whatever I said. You notice at no time have you seen any of them speak up and tell the little nuggets of truth about them international situations, because it's easier for them to let all the blame fall on Eurgh's head. Bam knew 100%. You know, I was literally on the same fucking table watching me on the phone to the customs at Heathrow. And if he denies that, he's a lying little cunt. And he was there with me, and they all know the stress I was under. Yeah, I fucked up with the Saurus. I admit that. People probably forgotten, but the Saurus was meant to fly out for that event as well. I said the wrong thing on the phone. He was very reasonably pissed off. I take that L completely. But with Daylight, it was completely that they did not believe he could be able to come in because of his tattoos, whatever. So when people are speaking up and people are going, oh my God, can't believe why would not answer the customs call? I'm sitting there like, right, if I stick up for myself, I look a bit beggy. I'm right thinking, okay, so which one of you is going to be the loyal friend that pipes up and goes, well, actually, did everything he could and nothing happened. And what a fucking surprise, absolute silence. And that's just one of many examples, bro, where things happen and they're just cowards about it, man. They're just such cowards about situations. Like there was this one time, again, there's many revelationary times in our career that, like, one was in Washington DC. We had a tryout event in Washington DC, and something happened. I think maybe someone got no-show. Like, it was quite sick. The event was like 20 battles and only one didn't happen or something. And the guy, I think, was maybe pissed off or something. And Liam's out the front, and the guy's obviously saying, oh, I'm fucked off, man, because he can see Bagnall's got a camera. He's obviously part of Don't Flop him. And straight away, Bagnall's like, oh, well, you know, Rowan's the boss. And I'm just there like, all right, bro. Like, I clocked that one. I'm going to let you have that, but I clock exactly what's going on. You want to be the man when it's cool to be the man, but when problems arise, it's all Rowan. Say with Ilmac, I can't even remember what me and Ilmac had a beef over. We just don't really see eye to eye. But he's posting, you know, oh, I think it was when I had my situation with Diz. I think maybe Ilmac might have backed up.
Wasn't it that you got him and his boys in a hostel or something when he came over to battle Tony or Ark? Or...
Yeah, do you know what it was? Yes, okay, I know what it was. It was that when he came to battle Tony, he was annoyed that his boy ended up being the sound man. And again, that's just because that's 6 years ago. Like looking back on it, I totally understand why that's annoying. I totally understand why that's annoying. But at the time, I was just kind of like, okay, so I'm stuck at this event. I have no sound man. Your boy is a sick DJ and a sound man, so I kind of just put him in the position to do it. And then I think he got quite pissed. Ilmac got pissed off with me because he was like, look, bro, like, my boy has just done the sound for your show for the whole evening and not really got much in return, you know what I mean? And I was like, at the time, I think I was back in like 2012 when Don't Flop was like really blowing up. I admit I was quite pig-headed about a lot of stuff. And I look back at it now and I'm like, that is the kind of time I should have said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me go talk to him. And just express my gratitude for him doing this massive favor. But at the time, I was a little bit like, I feel like you're overacting. It's only the sound. You know what I'm saying? I was a bit like, oh, right. Fuck it, it's nothing. And I think that amongst other things was like the reason Ilmac was kind of like, oh, it's a bit of a prick, and I understand that. But again, you know, when they've seen all the other things I did to hook up the guests, like you don't see, no one will ever see this. Like the big international events, no one else is running around, bruv. No one is running around to do shit. It's me. I'm the one on the way to Heathrow. I'm the one sorting out 3 different hotels, working out how to get an Uber from there. There's not enough money in the fucking Don't Flop company account, so I'm using somebody else's card, my card. There's literally been times at events, bruv, where I have... But battlers have helped me book Ubers for battlers because I'm like, boys, look, like I'm booking an Uber on my phone. Fucking, I've got blah 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 doing it. Would you mind booking an Uber as well? And they're like, yeah, cool, whatever. Because what I mean, it's like it's meant to be like a, you know, a what do you call it? Like just like a group effort together. You know what I mean? I'm asking you for £4 for a fucking Uber. Please help me out. And it's just there's just so much people don't see, and I think that's what hurt me the most about Callum's one, again, I can't really remember much stuff he said, but what is the difference? I think the difference to make clear about Callum and Liam is that like there's a very big distinction between I thought Callum was a shit worker but a good person, and I thought Liam was a shit person but a good worker. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like I think over the months that's what I've worked out is the big difference. So it's like to hear Liam come on, it didn't evoke any feeling in me because I was like, I know I get a lot of views, people will probably believe it, whatever. Because until no one ever hears anybody speak badly about Liam, and it's like from now on, all I'm gonna do is tell people the truth about Liam, and because I know everyone wants to listen. But up, at the time he did his blog back in September, no one has heard anything bad about him, so they kind of take what he says for gospel. And as I know he's never liked me, and I've never liked him, so it's kind of like, well, of course he's going to talk shit about me. Of course he's going to lie, and of course he's going to make himself look fucking, like the big man, whatever. But I think what hurt about Callum's is that I'm like, this is someone that I know. Like genuinely liked me as a person, because he even said it. This was one of the funniest things I found about Callum's, is when he very quickly slipped something in that he was kind of like, well, obviously, like, not every time with Rowan was bad. I can't remember what he said, but you probably remember. He said something. Yeah. You remember that, right?
I do, yeah.
And that made me laugh a lot, because it was like he lied so much about how little I supposedly do for Don't Flop, and he knows how much I fucking do, and he knew how little he did and got paid for it. And what I found so funny was that was almost like he had to say something truthful because he lied so much, and I genuinely laughed because it was the way he was like, of course I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes the run of fun, and he downplayed it. But the truth is, like, I hate Callum now, he hates me, but it's like the only reason I hate him is because he went against me. Like, before he went against me, I thought Callum was a fucking great person, bro. Like, in battle rap, I have cracked more jokes with Callum just laughing at other people than with probably most people. So it's like I would have probably still to this day had him on as a social media person, even though I know somebody would do a much better job for free. And trust me, if you could see my fucking email inbox, you'd believe me. Like there's numerous people that would have done it, and people were always asking for his job. But I was just like, no, I'm not paying Callum that much at all. But Callum is the kind of person, like, Callum, to his credit, would check up on me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, that's why I'm gonna build a personal relationship with you, because Callum, like, he actually would say, how's it going? Are you good? You know what I mean? How like he literally asked how my girlfriend is and shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, and in a respectful way. Like, how's your girl? How's your mom? Oh, you're back in Norwich this weekend. How's Norwich? Like, so I'm like, cool. Do you know what? I'm gonna reciprocate that. I'm gonna say, how's house hunting? How's this? How's your friend? How's whatever? And that's what I mean. So it hurt in that way to see someone switch, and I don't mean just when he came on your show. I'm saying when he posted that big Facebook status, because I was like, fucking hell, bro. Like, up until about a month ago, we were cool. So why not in this last month? Why did you not just say, yo, I've got some serious issues with the way you're behaving, Rowan? And instead, he just chose to go crazy in my inbox out of nowhere, and then come on your show and then get it taken down, which I feel like we need to talk about that. Because he came on your show, and then what happened?
Then I guess there was just quite a bad reaction to it on his part. A lot of the comments going for him, and a lot of people having to go at me for my ad-libs, apparently, and not taking it seriously enough.
By the way, no. I mean, I have to... the one quote I remember you said is that he said something about it being a real normal job. And you said most jobs don't have schemes about countries.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta give you props, Tom, mate. That might be one of the quickest, wittiest comebacks I've ever heard. Most jobs don't have schemes about. That made me die, bro.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think you. To be honest with you, man. Again, I'm not just saying this because we're on your show. Yeah. I don't think you went easy on him. I think you responded in the tone of how you felt about what he was saying. That's how it seemed to me, that he kind of felt he could come on the show and because he has this overinflated sense of self-worth. He thinks, okay, I'm Callum from the forum. I can go on a fucking battle rap blog and everyone's going to listen to me. Whereas he came on with that vibe of like, yeah, I'm just going to bitch about Rowan and everyone's going to believe it. Whereas you obviously, not trying to blow my own trumpet, but I think you probably, respect me more in a battle sense than him. So I feel like he's coming, and Don't Flop, you're a big, obviously, Don't Flop fan. You've been a huge fan for ages. So I feel like how it sounded to me is that he's come on your show and you've just not really taken it that seriously, because you're thinking, well, here's a guy that was singing Rowan's praises 5 minutes ago, and now he's saying he destroyed it and whatever other bullshit he was coming out saying that, like, oh, all he ever did was blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, bro, all you ever did was not post things I ask you to do and not send very simple messages that I asked you to send. You know what I mean? It's like, but I kept you on because I felt bad letting what I thought to be a good human being go. Whereas with Liam, it's very much like I can see that output. Let's take any big event. Of course, I'm not like Liam. I don't need to pointlessly lie to put him down, because there's enough reality I can put him down with. So in reality, he's great at the events. If we're talking about what he does as his job, like at the events, everyone's seeing him at the events. He films between the breaks. He's putting the stuff on his hard drive, editing the pay-per-view. Bro, like, I respect that, man. If he was someone I hired and I saw once every 2 months, I would have nothing but positive shit to say about him. But it's the extra shit that comes with it. It's the gradually building attitude that has been directly down to how gradually people have sucked his dick more and more and more. And the more people have sucked his dick, the cockier he's got, the ruder he's got, the more dismissive he's got. And bear in mind, all these words I'm using are all to do with how he is to me and other people as well. Because he was, say, even to fans, we need to make this very clear, bro. Like, he does not, under any circumstances, give a fuck about battle rap or its fans. And I need to make this point, and I need people to understand. Like, Liam Bagnall, he couldn't care less, bro. All he wants from this is validation and love. I don't know, maybe it's something that happened when he's younger. I don't know, mate. But he needs it. And when I say needs, I don't say that word lightly. Like, he cannot live without it. Why do you think, bro, when I'm deleting email addresses to save myself $60 a year, why do you think he screenshots himself emailing to me and then puts it on a forum? That's not battle rap, bro. That's not to do with the battle rap scene. That's me by myself choosing to try save myself $60 a year. But why does he do that? Because he needs it. He lives for the love of strangers. Why do you think at events he makes sure everyone sees him when he's bopping about and he carries himself in this manner? I'm Bagnall. You all know I'm Bagnall. Bro, anyone listening to this that was at a Don't Flop event in 2011-12 will remember he was playing the background. He was super calm. He was just trying to get on with everyone, film, bang his shoulder a little bit, stomp on the floor a little bit. But as time's gone on, he uses this stuff. It's like a drug. That's how I've always seen it with him. Like, it's honestly like a fucking drug to him, bro. Like, he any chance to put me down, and if it wasn't me, it'd be someone else. Like, let's make this very clear, bro. If I wasn't the villain that they've made out to be the villain, and somebody else was, Bagnall would back me 100% and go for him. If Bamalam, if any of them guys became the villain overnight, Bagnall would target them directly, because all he needs to do is target the people that the most people hate, because it will get him the most likes and it makes him feel valuable. Like, he knew screenshotting an email from me to a forum, that doesn't push the scene forward. That doesn't make you look mature. That doesn't make you look professional. But you know who it impresses? Them dickhead 400 view little battlers because got in mind, them battlers, they didn't come up in the time we came up. They came up in the time of like, oh, battle rap started in 2016. So they're like, oh yeah, a joke. Fuck none of this on this forum like him. It's like, bro, lose your virginity and realize that Liam Bagnall is one man. There's people that are scared to come to retaliation because they don't want to like anger the Bagnall. Bro, do you know how sad that is? Like, please, if you're scared of someone like him, like, all he is a name on the forum. Like, yeah, if you come to Retaliation, and all the people that have bought tickets already, big up to you for not caring. But it's like, of course, if you come to Retaliation, yeah, Bagnall's going to be like, oh my God, what about Kruger? And Callum will say the same shit. But it's like, bro, these guys are just forum names trying to just get validation. Like, it makes me laugh. It's literally like I either laugh or cry because it's so sad. And it's like people say to me, like, Tox has been on my fucking case since the first day this started. Every fucking week. Why aren't you talking, bruv? Stick up for yourself, bruv. And Quill's the same. I've got Quill in my inbox every day. Be a fucking man, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it's funny, and I respect it because it's just direct, man. I've had 6-7 years of my career with no directness, and I'm finally talking to people now that know how to have a conversation. And it's like, they're saying to me, oh man, like, what the fuck? Why are you letting these people trash you every day? And my answer is the same, like, bro, 2 reasons. Because when I open my mouth, it'll end it all anyway, and it could just be left in the past and we can move on. But also, it doesn't matter because the people, look at the card of Retaliation, bruv, yeah? They're all sick battlers. Like, they're the only people I need. Do you think I need these? I'm not going to name names here, but there's certain top tier battlers. I got their number, bruv. I know exactly what it is. They're cool to me because they know they haven't got any real reason not to be, but they're a little bit distant because they're like, okay, I don't know if Eurgh's got any power anymore. It's probably better for me to side with Kruger. And I clock, and all of you listening, I clock every single one of you, and I know exactly your game. And it's fun because I pushed them to this point that I just want them, one of them, to just be honest and be like, I don't want to battle for you, because I believe what Callum said. I believe what Bagnall said. But then none of them will say it because they know there's no basis to it. But look at the card, bruv. DNA, Quill, P Soldier, Press 1, Respect BA, Matter. Like, bruv, like the whole card, there's not a weak battle. Even the bottom 2 battles, Boski, Raptor, Mickey, Sayo, like, they're not weak battles. They're battlers that actually have people that want to come see them. And as long as I can throw events with battlers that want to fucking work with me, it's like, why do I care? Like, okay, it's kind of weird being told, fucking hell, the forum is 100% about you today again. And I'm like, that's really strange. But overall, I'm like, well, as long as people want to come to events, like, that's fine. It's like this thing. One of the main reasons I'm doing this with you is one, out of respect for you and your show, and I feel like there's no other place I should really do this first, and that's just as simple as that. But also, it's I just need to make people understand that, like, you're allowed to like both things. You know what I mean? This is not like some East Coast West Coast rap beef, bruv. It's like you're allowed to agree with certain things Liam say, what Freddie says, what Callum says, and you're allowed to believe some of what I say, all of what I say, a little bit. Like, I think this is something that people, I'm feeling like they don't get. They're kind of feeling like you've got to be like, oh, I'm still rolling with Don't Flop, or I'm rolling with a new league. And it's like, but it's not, it doesn't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, there's nothing saying that it has to be. You don't have to make a pick. Like, I completely respect Kruger has not done a lot to a lot of people. Like, I mean, he to basically anyone apart from me. Like, I don't think most people apart from me have any reason to dislike him. I completely understand that. However, they don't know him. They don't know the bullshit I've had to put up with from running a business with him. They don't know all that stuff. But the difference for me is I'm not going to be tweeting if Kruger started his own league or whatever. I'm not going to be like, oh, what? You go into Kruger's event? What about and Don't Flop? Nah, bruv. Like, people who support Kruger, I'm like, yeah, I think he's a dickhead because of the way he's gone on. I think it's disgraceful how he's gone on. I think the way that he behaved towards me and outcasted me when he knows we could have dealt with it like men, I think is absolutely disgraceful, and it really is the first public showing of what cowardly is. But still, that's to me. So, like, when Bagnall's on your show and he's on the forums trying to, like, subconsciously get in people's heads and make them believe that his beef for me is a beef that everyone should have for me, it's like, no, why can't you just say, I think is a prick? Why can't any of them say is a prick because of what he did to me and leave it at that, but still go support him if you like battle rap? Because don't think I don't clock these things that go on, Tom, bro. This shit about Oh, UK battle rap's in the strongest place ever. Let's all push each other. Don't Flop comes out with a banging card. We're back. Everyone's shitting themselves. It's very funny to see who shares it and who doesn't. That's all I'm going to say, mate. And I know you cocked it as well, bro. Yeah. 1 minute it's UK for UK. And I said to the people that helped me with this event, I was like, watch who promotes this. I think it got something like nearly 65 or 70 retweets, which for a Don't Flop tweet, we usually get 2 or 3. So that shows how much of a big deal us doing an event. It's 60, 70 retweets, about 300 likes or something. And don't get me wrong, a lot of battlers retweeted it, a lot of just general fans retweeted it, whatever. But I was like, all right, let me see if the same people that I support and have maintained support with, regardless of what's happened, let me see if they push my event. And not a single one has. And it's that same thing because of, recent things that have happened at, Empire and stuff. It's this thing of like, okay, I'm a privately fuck with her, but in public, I'm so afraid of Liam and Freddie's brand name as people. I better not support her too much. You know what I'm saying? Do you think I'm crazy thinking that, or do you think that? Have you seen that as well?
No, I understand what you're saying. And what do you think about the landscape currently, sort of after Don't Flop? Loads of leagues have sprung up, Code Red, Premier Battles, etc. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, good question, man. Again, I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm not going to be like the rest. Yeah, I'm not going to be like the rest and lie because I dislike the people involved. My honest opinions are Code Red is irrelevant, and that's just real. They can get angry about it. That's just my honest opinion.
Why? What do you mean?
I couldn't tell you, mate. I couldn't tell you. I just don't think it's a relevant league.
Right.
I think again, I'll be real. I think what's the other? Chalked Out. Yeah, I congratulated them completely. I congratulated. Soon as they collabed with KOTD, was like, yeah, great move. Because again, I'm not validated by other people liking them. Like I know you can like a Chalked Out event and like KOTD and still want Don't Flop to come back. So I said big move, bruv. Like I respect that. I like it. Obviously gassed up the event, gassed up the fly. I thought it was great. I think concept wise, Premier Battles amazing. And it's a big shame, and I'd love to be like what they'd be like about me if this was the other way around, and lie and say shit if I'd been rude about them, because obviously Shotty completely snaked me for absolutely no reason. But again, I can look at things objectively, unlike basically everybody else in the battle scene. I possess the ability to look at stuff objectively, and I think Shotty is a dickhead for snaking me for absolutely no fucking reason whatsoever when I was a fucking loyal, good mate to him. Do you know what I mean? I never, was really liked him genuinely, and he knows this. I genuinely liked Shotty more than nearly anybody I've met through battling. And it was very weird to be told to fuck off by him out of the blue over something that had nothing to do with him. When 2 days before we were speaking like fucking boys. But again, it doesn't affect the fact that, objectively, I think Premier Battles is an amazing idea. I think it's going to go from strength to strength. So I'm going to keep following it. I haven't really watched too much of it because it just doesn't, interest me on that level to watch. But I think the concept for the teams, the scarf, the tops. I've been fucking every event I'm in Lunacy's fucking inbox saying, bruv, get me one of them Mandrill Mob scarves. They look fire. And like I said, I'm not, obviously, if I was still cool with certain people, I'd be trying to push their leagues more. But I think Chalked Out, Chalked Out without KOTD is just another league. But again, that doesn't mean they can't become something very original. I definitely understand that. I think with the right work, I think they can become something original. But I don't know how far the KOTD link will go. Code Red, it's not, I don't know, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. It's just not really relevant. I don't think it's really seen as that relevant by anybody. I think what it is that they've started what it is that the basis of their league is snaking me. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's that's not my words, that's other people's words. Code Red, Chalked Out, the basis of their league is, I think we should film battles. Let's join together and film battles. Premier Battles, no part of Premier Battles is based on snaking me. I clock little things that get said. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blind. I think things that get said. And I see snaky movements that happen with Premier Battles towards me and whatever, and that's fine. I'm sure they'll continue to happen. But the basis of their league is, I'm Shotty. I'm going to run a league. I love football. Here's a football league. However, you get to Code Red and it's okay, so we're going to launch our league stealing footage from an event that Rowan's helped put together. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, people don't understand what really happened, because like, this is Danny Jack. Like, we got to talk about Danny Jack at some point. Like, I mean, he is the ultimate coward. Like, I mean, he makes Freddie look like Sylvester Stallone, bro. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, Danny Jack is cowardly on a level you would never see in another human being. I think
Jesus Christ, what a thing to say.
I couldn't give a remote fuck about him. He snaked me. Fuck them. Like, it's what it is that like, I've always known Danny Jack's a coward, but let me make this clear. I loved him. I really did respect him very highly as a person, and as a on a personal level. The same was with Callum. I didn't ever think his work was, exemplary, but his personality, I'm like, cool, I like this. So I never had an issue with him being a coward. But so it gets to next in line, and I'm like, okay, you haven't spoken to me in months. We've gone from speaking probably every other day. I mean, people I think underestimate how good mates me and him were. Like, I mean, we probably went from talking, I would say, approximately every 2 or 3 days for 4 years, I would say, to literally, no exaggeration, Callum posts his status, bang, no contact. And he cannot deny that, bro. Nobody can deny that, because these are facts. Everything I'm saying is fact, bro. Everything I've said so far has been fact. I'm telling you, Callum posted a Facebook status about me, and I never heard from Danny Jack again. And I'm saying, up till that point, 3-4 years, hanging out, partying, fucking traveling, paying for his food, paying for his travel, paying for his drinks, fucking getting him girlfriends, bare shit, bruv. I'm telling you, yeah. We were like, I'm not saying we were like fucking tightest boys ever. We were good mates, you know what I mean? So I see a few months pass, and I'll be honest, man. I was waiting to hear. Like, I was like, there, at some point he will wake up and be like, I'm being really snaky towards This is really weird. But obviously what happened is he realized, Viewpoint / UK BRG, as that started up, he realized throughout that period, okay, Eurgh's getting more and more and more hate. And what he did was he weighed up, do I be a loyal friend to the person everybody's hating, or do I follow the crowd and beg it with Kruger, who I don't really know, but he's the more popular one at the moment, and then I have a longer lifespan in battle rap. And that's what he did. He chose. He said. Obviously, I see what he says about. Oh yeah, well, I heard about blah blah blah. Stealing money from Kruger and whatever. It's like, no, bro, you didn't. What happened was, you've met Kruger a couple of times. He went for like dinner with him and his bird. Like, I saw Danny Jack the other day and I spudded him, bro. And I told him to his face, when I get on Tom's show, you're fucking getting it, mate. Like, I'm not a snake, bro. This is what I'm saying. I'm not like these fucking dickheads, bro. I'm straight up. I will look you in your face and say, I respect that you're trying to bless it with me now. I'll spud you for banter, but I'll look in your eye and say, you are gonna get it when I go on Battle Rap Resume. Because that's the funniest thing, bro, yeah, is that I do genuinely think me and Danny Jack will be friends again. That's the funniest thing. It's like the others, like Liam, don't care what happens to him, never want to see him again in my life. Freddie, Callum, whatever, feel the same about all of them. Genuinely don't want anything to do with them. They're all fucking snake. They're all, Freddie, I used to give him this justification that, it's because he's got her in his ear, bagged on his ear. To be honest, you're a 30-year-old man, bro. You can make your own decisions. He was influenced by them, but he's now making his own decisions, and that is what it is. But Danny Jack, that's a funny one. It's like, 'cause I saw him at Empire, and obviously, I was getting showed mad attention. Like, to be honest, it was a bit overwhelming. It was a bit overwhelming or whatever. But he clocked me, and then I made a joke, and everybody laughed. And then Danny Jack pretended he didn't hear. And in front of everyone, I was like, "Look at Danny Jack trying to pretend he can't hear that what I'm saying or whatever." And everyone busts up. And he had that thing where he was like trying his hard. Like where when Sora says to Marv 1, "You look like the Kool-Aid man in grape flavor," and Marv's lip is like trembling. It was like that. Danny Jack was like, and then we ended up in a restaurant, and like he was obviously drunk as fuck, and he was like, and I was just buoying up. But like I said, I was doing it in a jokey way, because I'm like, he has let me down, he has snaked me, he has talked shit about me, he has not contacted me when I really needed it. But at the same time, it's like I couldn't tell you why, but I just feel like sometime in the future we'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? I just think we'll be okay. Because I think it's like I know the difference with him is I think I don't think has everybody in his ear all the time telling him about me. So I think there will be a point he will realize, fuck, he will realize, oh shit, like that's really bad. Like, I've let Rowan down really fucking bad. Even if, he spoke to me the day after Callum's thing came out, and I told him, I haven't paid Kruger for ages, and then he said, you know what, Rowan, I need to have a break from knowing you. Even if but he didn't do that, you know what I mean? He cut me out with no contact because they're all cowards. This is what I'm saying. So it's like, I feel like, I do think there'll be a point when there isn't anybody in his ear, no girlfriend, no whatever, where he will realize I should have given Rowan the chance to at least speak. Whereas with Kruger, it's like, well, I even, this is what people don't know, that like even whilst this whole time we haven't been speaking, it's like, I have really, really, really been giving him the benefit of the doubt, like the whole time, even when I know, even like, say for example, even only a few months ago when I released Tony and Arsenal, when he posted that big thing, which I thought was really stupid. Even then, I thought that was very attention-seeking, very beggy, because he brought it on himself, because the only reason I released the battle is because he refused to give me the footage after he'd been paid for it. And it's like, okay, well, that's fine, but I was still like telling myself, it's his girlfriend, it's Bagnall, it's Bam, it's because obviously they've obviously got a group chat they started when they first tried to get me out of the company that I know Bagnall was saying in one of their group chats some shit about I'm gonna come punch Rowan up and some shit, and it's like, do you know what I mean? So obviously like they're gassing Freddie up, and whilst Freddie's trying to oust me from the gun, they're like, yeah, fuck Rowan. So all of them basically turned on me immediately to side with Freddie with not knowing any context of it at all. And it's like, and so like, even up to I would say to be honest with you, even up till probably Empire 2 weeks ago, even up till then, because obviously I haven't spoken to Freddie, heard him, he specifically told me to not speak to him, so I was like, cool, I'm completely fine with not talking to you. So I haven't spoken to him, had no contact at all. I think even up until then I was pretty much like still sticking up for him, and honestly, there will be people that have heard me say this, I would be like, it's fucking Bagnall. And I do believe to a degree, having a girlfriend that I've always known doesn't trust me, and like you can see it in certain people's faces, I just know his girlfriend has never trusted me, and she's always been like she's very fake, and like she's basically like the kind of female Danny Jack. She kind of like begs it with everyone at events, begs it with absolutely anyone that will listen. She's on like the forum, and it's like, bro, like you can't be a battle rapper's girlfriend liking comments and support on the forum. Like, come on, please have some self-respect. And like Freddie, I'm like, come on, man, like tell your girl to get out of the forum. I'm telling you on my life, bro, if I had a girl and she was in a battle rap forum sticking up for me, I'd be like, please, we need to talk tonight before we watch fucking Black Lightning or whatever, mate. Please, can we just talk about the fact you're in a forum? Please leave it up to the 400 view guys. You know what I mean? It's like I've honestly, man, I don't need to be saying it publicly, but I've been saying, look, honestly, I don't think it's Freddie. I think for this whole year, he's been poisoned against me. He's been made to believe that I'm the enemy. His girlfriend's made me believe I'm the enemy. Liam, obviously, he works with Liam 5 days a week. Obviously, Liam is non-stop telling me I'm a piece of shit. Liam always wanted me and Freddie to not be friends. Like always. He not be friends, but Liam always wanted to kind of like usurp it and be like them two as directors, because Freddie's such a coward and such a pussy. Like obviously Liam he's got physically quite a big person. He's quite an overbearing person. He's quite loud. Liam always knew if they could make it a thing where I was out of the picture, he could basically run, don't flop, you know what I mean? So he's always wanted that. So of course, like when Freddie's first having doubts about me, Liam's in his ear being a poisonous piece of shit. Oh yeah, fucking Rowan, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is that like it gets to a point, and I'm like, okay, me and Freddie stopped talking January 2017, right? And I'm like, it's June 2018. How many fucking years and months can I have that same justification? And I think when I got to Empire, because I got told last minute he was filming, and I was like, cool. I mean, I don't see why that matters. I'm not going to probably see him the whole day. I really didn't think anything more of it, because I said he specifically told me I don't want to hear from you anymore. So I was like, fine. And then to get there, and to be told people have got an issue with you inside. And I specifically kept saying, don't say people, I want to know who. And they said Freddie. And I said, anybody else. I was like, let me just be clear. Does anyone else here have an issue with me, or is everyone else here happy that I'm here? And they were like, no, it's literally just Freddie. And from that moment, I was like, do you know what? I've mollycoddled this boy. He's been mollycoddled by his girl, his family, his friends, his brother, his whole fucking life. And he's been allowed to get away with murder. He can be quiet for 3 weeks at a time and still get props for something he had nothing to do with. And I just thought, do you know what? This is it for me. And I thought, I can't keep my mouth shut anymore. And I'll be, completely honest with you, bro. Like, people, when they knew I was coming on here, were like, oh, I don't know. Like, it's probably a bit, you should stay away from talking about Freddie because he's so popular. And I'll be, again, honest. I, up until probably Empire, was thinking to myself, I would say to you, don't. Obviously, I knew you'd ask me about the money, and that's completely fine. But I was going to say to you, can you not ask me too much about, Freddie and our relationship in general? Because I don't really want to, bitch about someone I once respected so much. And honestly, and the whole time me and you have been talking about the show, I always thought that's what I'll say beforehand. It's like, just like, ask me about anything, but don't put me in a situation where I'll bitch about Freddie, because it feels a horrible thing to reach that point. But like I said, it really hit me. Like, it's been a year and a half. He's handled the situation absolutely awfully. He's let these people get inside his head to the point it is now his opinion as well. I just think, much longer can I be quiet for? And it's like, cool, like, I don't care. He can release a statement, speak up, bruv. I don't care. Like, we were both there. We know exactly how it's been. We know everything that I have done, and we know everything that he's done. And as I said to him when we first started messaging, when we fell out, I said to him, look, bro, it's way more likely I would make mistakes in my job than you in yours, because all you do is edit. And I didn't mean that in a disrespectful way, because it's a great thing that he does. He's one of the best editors I've found, great cameraman, whatever. But I'm saying, that's your job. My job is every other thing. It's giving up days working out what some new untapped areas battle rap hasn't been. I'm talking even in London, new areas in London that hasn't been battle rap. Coming up with every single event name, and whether you like the event names or not, they're all memorable. Coming up with the name Don't Flop because it's fucking memorable. Coming up with like all the behind the scenes shit, all the tour stuff, all the musical content, anything else that isn't just battles is still all me. But then I've never said it because I've always thought people understood. But now I've realised all these lot have put this campaign forward trying to say I did nothing. And I'm like, you're telling the person that's done everything apart from filming and editing that he does nothing. And it's like, I said this to Freddie, like, look at every avenue we've gone down. Little things I've brought to events that none of you even realise, little changes I've made, ideas I've had, battles I've set up, people I've done business with to make us fucking 10 grand in a day. Like, that's actually shit that I have done. These are factual things. All you have ever done is film and edit, because I've brought you along to places so many times and you've sat there in silence that I physically feel like I can't bring you along anymore. I'll be real. Before we fell out, I just started going to meetings by myself. I used to try to get everybody to come to meetings, but I could tell we'd meet up with people and they'd be like, looking at me like, why have you brought these bunch of fucking mimes? Because people would be there. Bagner would be on his phone texting his girlfriend, couldn't wait to get home. Krug would be there in silence, and that would be about it. The others would maybe shake their hand now and again or whatever. And it's like, I'm there like, I don't need any of these people here because they're not adding anything and they're making me look like a weirdo that I'm associated with them. So honestly, like, for probably like 6 months before we fell out, every meeting I was just going to by myself, because I was like, at least if I go by myself, I know how to carry myself. I know what to get. And like I said, I got us 3-4 different sponsorships just from, doing it. And I just said to Freddie, like, to be honest, how dare you? Like, how dare you imply that I'm not good at my job? Like, I've fucked up in one way. Like, don't get me wrong. What they did was they tried to list out other things I'd done wrong, but they were all like leaving out little bits of the story. Like for example, they tried to say that merch not getting delivered was my problem. but it was actually the fault of somebody who I'm not even going to say his name because he's so irrelevant and most people won't even know him, but he used to work for us, and it was completely his fault. And I was like, I can't believe the stress you saw me go under. Which is what I said to you before about like all kind of like trying to take a step back when there's a stressful situation, just put it all on her. It's like the stress you saw me under 2 different periods in a row where merch isn't getting delivered, and neither of them is my fault. And you've got the fucking audacity to email me and try and tell me that merch not getting delivered is my fault. And I just told him, like, bro, you don't do anything apart from film and edit, so obviously there's less chance of you fucking up than me. Like, I do everything under the sun, so of course I'm gonna fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's reasonable. Like, no one has ever given me slack. Like, that's the fucked up thing. Like, I've never ever been given any kind of slack. No second chances, no nothing. All it was with the money was like, wow, you've stole money, fuck you. I'm like, dude, man, why not say let's meet up, I need to talk to you about something. Do you know what I mean? But Freddie couldn't do that. You have to understand this, Tom, man. Like, Freddie could never do that because he's not direct enough, and he has, in private, he's got idiots like his girlfriend to make him feel like he's valuable and whatever. But in a real life situation, he couldn't hang with me one-on-one. He couldn't. Like, it doesn't matter what he said. Oh, I've been asking. No, I don't care, bro. You could not hang with me, and you would crumble. So it's just like, if he had any kind of backbone, he would have said, let's meet up right now, and without the others being involved, without trying to, oust me by the power of 6 people, just be cool about it and be like, hey, man, so basically, I know you, Rowan. I know you would have never tried to snake me, deliberately, but I've gone through the accounts. Because this is another thing, man. Why would I give up the access to the accounts if I had anything to hide? Nobody can answer this question. I've asked them it and they ignore it. There is no answer to this question because it's bullshit, bruv. Why? It just is such bollocks. Why would I be so ready to give Callum and Freddie all the details to the accounts they had never asked to see before if I had anything to hide? Obviously, I know, even though I wasn't aware of the amount that I'd spent and not paid him, I obviously know there has been times I've overspent, right? So why, if I know that and I think it's something to hide, would I say, yeah, go and have a look? Because as far as I'm concerned, if they see a big issue with it, they're going to raise it with me, and we're going to deal with it like fucking men. But because they see this quick chance, like Callum sees this chance, like, okay, I do like Rowan, like he slipped in the interview. I do like Rowan, but I've seen a chance to oust him and maybe I can get more power. Bang, straight to Facebook. All of them come together. Let's write Rowan an email. And I'm like, no, how about none of you say anything, because none of you have any legal right over anything I do, and you never will. And how about you actually, if you genuinely give a fuck about Freddie, which we need to make a big point of, they don't, and they've used him as a pawn to get to me, and he's so sad he doesn't realize that. If they actually care about Freddie, how about you come together and you coach him and you say, right, do you know what? We really want you to get your money back, Freddie, yeah? We really want you to get your money back. We're gonna, this is how you need to approach Rowan. You need to come with the figures, but be super cool about it and make sure that Rowan knows that he didn't deliberately try and let you down. But instead, what did they do? They all came together, had this big tirade of like, fuck Rowan, Rowan's this, Rowan's a snake, Rowan never did anything for me, Rowan stole money. And Freddie, being the classic Freddie that he is, he sat there and he let it happen because he didn't dare change the direction it was going in as soon as it started. Like, the funniest thing is, I don't reckon that's how Freddie wanted it to go. Like, I think he'd never admit it because he's too scared of them lot. He's definitely too scared of Liam. But I know now deep down, he realizes, like, whatever he thinks about me, I know he realizes he should have just manned up and he should have just told them, look, if you do care about me, stay the fuck out of this. Because this is something that me and Sean were discussing when we were planning Retaliation. We were talking about, okay, so what should we give Freddie from the event, because we obviously have to give him something, and how is it going to work? And we were just discussing, because Sean's like, guys, I talked to him so much and he's helped so much, just like not monetarily but just mentally, just running through ideas. And I'm talking to him about, and I'm saying like, this is a plan, and we're talking about the event, and he's saying like, Freddie definitely needs to get a cut, like without a doubt. You cannot come out with a comeback event and not give Freddie a cut. And I'm like, of course, bruv. Like, no way would I ever do that. It's so stupid. And it was that moment I was just like, how funny is this? That if them lot hadn't jumped in and done what they did, and Bagnall hadn't come on your show, Bagnall hadn't tweeted me, I'm done with Rowan, Callum hadn't done this, they hadn't been in forums literally every single day talking about me trying to get likes. I was saying to Sean, like, how funny is that if all of them really cared about him and they didn't do that, Freddie would have all his money back already. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and that to me is, I know none of them would ever say that, but they're not stupid, and Freddie is definitely not stupid, and he knows that as well. That, like, if let's say last July, when he first realized he was owed money, if he had not told anybody about it, and he because he knows just because him and Liam are boys, he knows what Liam is like. He knows Liam's a hothead. He knows Callum needs attention, whatever. He knew by telling them, sooner than later it would come out in the public domain, right? And I know that now he's sitting there, like, if I just told all of them, or either told them to stay out of it, or just not told them full stop, met up with me and said, you fucked up pretty badly. We could have sat together and gone, right. And I would have said, I know myself, bro, and you can hear from the way I talk about that. I know Liam and that's behavior very well. I would have said to Freddie, like, I know I would have looked him in the eye and said, like, categorically, Liam and Callum cannot find out about this. That they cannot find out about it, because if they do, it's over. You know what I mean? And I would have said that. I would have said, look, we need to come up with a plan. We'll do Sunburn, in, let's say, August. We'll do Next in Line October. We'll do Birthday December or something. And we could have worked it all out. And I said, look, no one ever has to know I owe you a penny. I'll give you, I don't know, 1,500 quid or something from a couple events, and it'll be sorted. And I know he knows that, and I know he kicks himself about that, but it's like they have this big public charade about kind of like, yeah, like, Battle Rap's in a better place than ever because we kicked out It's like, nah, bruv, you fucked over Freddie, who's your boy, so he's not got paid back. You fucked over the best league and let subpar ones come. Like I said, not all subpar, but you let some subpar ones come. And you think you pussyholes can take me out of the scene. It's like, bruv, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is where me and Tox and people like that are really on a level, because it's like we brought them in. Like, I brought Callum in. I brought Bagnall in. I brought, the others that don't matter in. Like, you can't get brought in and kick me out. And this is why I said that Next in Line made me feel so sad, because that was the first day I was like, fuck, I feel like they're actually succeeding. They're actually succeeding in kicking me out of a scene that I built. I'm at a point now where it's like, being humble about it got me nowhere. Keeping my mouth shut got me nowhere. Being polite and letting them take the credit for stuff that I did got me nowhere. It's time to be real, bruv. When you work with just Freddie, it feels like you're working single-handedly. When you're working with a massive team of people and none of them speak to you on a daily basis like a human being, it feels like you're working single-handedly. So as far as I'm concerned, it's been me and the battlers that I've booked and the great matchups I've thought of that have built this scene. And I'm sitting there like, hold on. I probably felt shit for like an hour, 2 hours, and I just was like, is this what it feels like? Like, is this what it feels like to feel like defeat? Like that, like legit, like, no pun intended, but like I was really like, is that it? Like, is this what defeat feels like? Like, they've actually won. Like the pussies have won. Like, the people that we gave life to, and now, like, and the Danny Jacks of the world, I put them in their position. And they're going to take me out of mine. And I just thought, nah. But it's like, and that's, I mean, all them events like Next in Line, and I don't know, the level of bitchiness at other battle events, because I don't go, obviously. But it's like, I find it such a funny image, man. Like, the image of all these people, like, that have almost lied to themselves so much. They've convinced themselves that they are the good guys, and it's like I have no qualms or no trouble believing that like Liam thinks he's a great person. Like I am someone who I think I'm a good person in a lot of ways, but I see how I'm a dickhead. I see how I fucked up and don't flop. And a lot of ways you don't even know. That's the funniest thing. There's loads of stupid shit I've done that no one knows about. They're like, I definitely am not perfect. But I think that's the difference between me and them, that I'm like, I can stick up for myself and say where they're wrong, but I also understand there's a problem with my behavior as well. Whereas with them, it's like, I think they've got this little clique, this little event clique. And I think they really... I really don't think it's fake anymore. Like, I think they really are walking around believing that what they've done is the right thing. And Freddie has been convinced to believe that the reason he hasn't got his money is because I've refused to pay him. But there has been no email, no conversation, no tweet, no nothing ever with me saying anything but I'm willing to pay you everything you're owed. And I have every intention of doing that. And it's like, I think one day they need to all snap out of it and be like, do you know what, Freddie? We're really sorry, actually. Really sorry that we vilified, Rowan to the point that he had to leave it 14 months before he felt he could do a paid event. Like, and I really hope they apologize to him. Like, I think Freddie's a prick, and I'm not going to apologize to him for shit anymore because of how he's treated me. But if they're his boys, Liam, Callum, Danny Jack, all them lot, man, if they really love Kruger the way they go on, they should apologize him for fucking up the money for him, because he would have had every single penny in his bank account by now if they hadn't gone on the way they've gone on, and dedicate so much time to hating Don't Flop and hating me and trying to drag me down and change public perception of me, instead of saying, do you know what, Rowan, you're a bit of a prick, which I understand I am, but if you change these things about yourself and we change these things about ourselves, all of us can get paid, all of us can get money, Freddie can get all the extra money he's owed, and Don't Flop can be the biggest thing ever. Like, do you know what I mean? Look at Code Red, bro. You asked me about Code Red, yeah, bro. All right, let's keep it real. Right? So Code Red is like, that's it. It's built on a lie, bro. It's built on Danny Jack being too pussy to say to me, do you know what, Rowan? Now you're not popular, I'm not rolling with you. And it would have obviously been fucking hurtful to be told that, but that should have been what he said if he wanted to tell the truth. But what he did was he ignored me. And do you know what he said to me? He's such a coward, bro. He said, I can't get you the footage to the event because Bagnall refuses to give it to you. To which obviously I replied, bruv, if you're paying Bagnall for a job, the footage is yours. Like, don't lie, bruv. You've seen an opportunity to start a new league. Fuck Rowan, you want the footage. And he was like, nah, bro, I would give you the footage, but yeah, Bagnall's and I was just like, you absolute waste, man. Like, do you know what I mean? That was the time, like, I really was like, Danny Jack, bro, you have even surpassed my expectations of how much dick you will suck right now. Because it's like, you've given up me and an actual friendship for a little friendship with Kruger. And to make a big point of it, Bagnall cannot stand Danny Jack, bro. Bagnall does not like him at all. And when I mean at all, I mean at all. Like, he's never liked him. And I was the one in the Don't Flop staff chat sticking up for Danny Jack. Every time, 10 out of 10. Every time there was a problem, every time Liam had a comment about Danny Jack, I'd be the one saying, nah, he's all right, bruv. Like, I think you're underestimating him. I think he's pretty cool. And to see, like, I don't know if you remember, but before Next in Line, the way, I think Danny Jack, he tweeted something so pathetic. Like, what a dickhead. He tweeted something like, Bagnall filming, Kruger filming, something like, that's all I need for my event. That is so, like, I don't know, man, like something really stupid, right? And I was just reading it like, Bagnall doesn't like you, bro. He's always said you're a beg and he doesn't like you. And this is what I'm saying. It's like, they chose popularity over real relationships. Like, me and Danny Jack, we didn't have to be best friends. We had a real relationship with each other. Whereas him and Bagnall, it's like he chose to back Bagnall because he thinks Bagnall will get him more props. But it's like, okay, maybe Bagnall gets you more props in UK battle rap, however sad that sounds. But it's like, but he doesn't like you. He's never liked you. Yes, you're paying him $2 bills. Of course, he'll come and laugh behind the camera and fuck about at the event, mate. But it's like, I say with Freddie, the way he'll like talk about Freddie and be like, "Oh, Kruger is like the most," like, it's like, bro, you don't know Kruger, like you don't know him. You've had a couple dinners with him. You spud him at events. Like if you were sat at a pub, just you and him, it'd be dead silence, like it is with Freddie and everyone else. So shut up. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you just be real and say to me, Rowan, I've put most of the work in the event. I know you initially promoted it as Don't Flop, but realistically, you haven't promoted it as Don't Flop for a few months. I'm taking this as a new league. I'm taking the footage. Don't fob me off with some shite about you. Like, come on, Tom, mate. Danny Jack is not sitting there with Liam Bagnall going, Liam, I would actually like to give it to Rowan. Shut up, bro. Like, no. You're there rubbing your hands together like, oh my God, Gemini Shocks, I'm finally going to be a relevant promoter. And it's just like, man, like, there's just too much fakery, bro. Like the other one, man. Oh, I gotta get at him, bro. I gotta get at. Oh my God, bro. Fucking Krishna and Danny Jack, bro. Like, you have to understand. Do you know why Krishna and Danny Jack don't like each other, bro? Let's keep this 100. Everyone's puts my business out there happily. Let's keep it all the way 100, bro. I feel like I'm drunk and all I'm doing is drinking fucking tap water. Krishna and Danny Jack don't like each other because Krishna, being the absolute weirdo that he is, named his car after Danny Jack's girlfriend. Now, Danny Jack, yes, exactly. We're going to talk about everything, Tom. Danny Jack, obviously, fair enough. Danny Jack has got a very good sense of humor. Doesn't mind taking the piss out of himself. Thought it was funny. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't standing up straight away saying that's bullshit. I thought it was pretty funny. Krishna then continues the joke for that little bit too long because he is a weirdo like that. He continues the joke for too long, to the point that Danny Jack's, I don't know if it's ex-girlfriend now or whatever, but girlfriend, at the time, says to Krishna, "Can you please stop referring to your car as me because it's making me very uncomfortable." So then Danny Jack and Krishna have a big argument. Obviously, I'm on Danny Jack's side. I'm saying to Danny Jack, I mean, bro, it's your girl, like. Krishna should understand it's very reasonable to say, can you not say it anymore? Krishna's sending him 20-minute voice notes. You're a fucking prick. Fuck you. I mean, trust me, I heard him. And then so they fell out, and that was that. And it's so funny how you hop on Twitter now, and it's all like we're all buddy, and I'm like, you lot don't like each other. And that's only one example of why they fell out that I can think of. There's many more, and that's just probably the cringiest, funniest one. But it's like you two do not like each other, and I've seen you argue. I've seen the way you speak to each other, but suddenly you fall out with Rowan, and you have this common weird poisonous connection, and it's like, oh, let's hang out with each other. Oh my God, these guys are lames, bruv. Honestly, they are fakes and they are lames. You have not seen me beg it with a single person that I do not like. I'm telling you, at that event, do you know what, yeah? Let's be real about Empire, bro, yeah? Let's actually be real. Freddie was the only pussy that said, oh, I feel uncomfortable, even though I'm being paid to do a job with Rowan here. I feel uncomfortable and whatever. However, some people there actually kept it real and they weren't pussies about it. They just didn't speak to me. I don't like any of them, Villain, don't like him at all, will never work with him, no interest in ever talking to him. Old English, same thing, absolute prick, no interest in ever talking to him. But, do you know what I left Empire and I said, yeah? I said to the group we were with, I was like, do you know what I respect them to? Because they kept it real. Do you know what I'm saying? They didn't go in the corner and look at me and bitch. They came out, they walked right past me, and they ignored me. And I respect that because there's no need for it to be any different. You see what I'm saying? It didn't... And that's what I thought it would be with Freddie. Freddie and me categorically don't like each other, and that's fine. But it's not a physical beef that's going to be a problem. I'm not a threat to him. What props would I ever get for punching Freddie fucking Kruger? Come on. And it's same with him to me, it's not a physical thing. It's just you've told me to stay out of your life, so there should be absolutely no reason why there's a problem for me to stand and support our mutual friend who really wants me in the building. He was so pissed off when I couldn't be front row to support the battle. That's my guy, bro. Do you know what I mean? Of course I want to be there to support him. And it's that's how it should have been, that Freddie was okay, I don't want to talk to Rowan, but he's here for censor, then he'll go. Because bear in mind, a lot of people don't know that I literally only came at the end of the day. I don't know if you I saw you, didn't I? But right, so you know that I specifically came for the last half of the day because I did not want there to be a massive furore about me being there, because I knew it'd turn a lot of heads and whatever. I didn't want to take my attention away from the event because I really did think the event would have been great. And I was so hyped to see Sense of Battle. So I said, I was like, cool, I'll roll up about 6, catch the last 2 battles and duck out. So obviously I roll up. Everyone's coming, oh my God, yo, what you say? Obviously, it felt really good, to be honest. And then I get told, oh yeah, so Freddie feels really awkward. And I'm like, my first thing was like, right, so, but it's not a favor to you he's doing, is it? He's being paid. They're like, yeah, he's being paid. And I'm like, so you're telling me somebody you're paying to do a job is not comfortable with me being there? And they're like, yeah, I know, it's really, really weird, but we don't really know what to do or say. So, but this went on. Like I said, most people were coming, like, people were coming like from right across the road. People were coming, oh, what's up, whatever. But I said, I don't have any interest in speaking to Old English. And there was a couple more as well, where I'm not even going to give their name shine, but at least people might know Old English and Villain. But there's a few people like that, and respect to them, because they know. We don't fuck with each other. So that's all it has to be. If they'd come up being like, what the fuck you doing here? I would have been like, get the fuck out of my face. But, I think that's fine. Like, you don't want to talk to me. I don't want to book you. You don't want to be booked by me. Like, Old English thinks he's worth money, which he still hasn't got his head around the fact he's not a top tier. And it's like, fine. Like, I'm not going to pay you, so go to a league that pays you. Villain is just a very, very snaky, two-faced prick, so I don't want to be anywhere near him. And let's keep it real. Like, we were, to be honest, Villain and Old English were 2 of the realest people at the event, bro. Like, that's the craziest thing. Because Ambi was like, well, you say everyone's shaking your hand, but some of them are fake. I was like, bro, I know. Like, it's fun. It's half the fun. Half the fun is knowing that these guys aren't man enough to say they don't like me to my face, because they know my reply would be, right, why don't you like me? And they'd have nothing to say. So it's half the fun is shaking these guys. There was a few people specifically, I shook their hands and I was like, you ain't spoke to me in 8 months, bro. I know you got an issue with me, but you don't dare say what it is. So, you know what I mean? Freddie should have just taken a leaf out of that book and just ignored me, not crying about it. Like, I'm not going to put his name out there, but a big battler who was there at the event, the way they stripped it down was just like, I'd be embarrassed for people to know I was that much of a pussy. And that is word for word what they said. And I was like, that's it. That's how me and Freddie are different. That if I felt uncomfortable, I couldn't, like, I'm comfortable expressing myself, but I couldn't, in that battle rap environment, I couldn't show people like I'm this much of a pussy to the point I'm saying I've been paid to film, but I'm threatening to stop filming if Rowan stands next to Censor. Like, and the battler, they said to me outside, they were like, I'd be embarrassed. And I was like, I'd be embarrassed too, bro. But I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for him. Like, seriously, that's how it was. When you're embarrassed for other people, like, that's how it felt, bro. It was like, I am embarrassed for you that you can't just come out. Because again, of all the bad things about Bagnall, this is another thing I said on the day. I was like, if it was Bagnall, he would have come straight outside. He would have come straight up to me and he would have said, you're not coming in. And we would have argued, and maybe I would have come in, maybe I wouldn't have come in. I don't know. But I said this, that if, that Bagnall at least wouldn't hide inside. Because Freddie was literally hiding indoors and was like, it's a hot fucking day, bro. It's like, come outside and get some fresh air, for fuck's sake. Like, it's only me. Like, I don't bite, bro. The only reason we're not in touch is because you told me don't talk to you. So it's like, it's like, it's almost a shame that it wasn't Bagnall filming, because it's like, maybe I would have never seen any of the battles, but it's like, at least I would have left and been like, right, I went to try and support. Bagnall said, you can't come in. Shocks doesn't want to piss off his cameraman, and that's fine. I'll go sit down the pub. But, and I could have accepted that a lot more, but to be told that a man who can't look me in the eye wants to control where... This is kind of how I said it on the day. I was like, you're telling me that he has a say over where I can and can't go. I was like, you need to get this very straight. Like Freddie Scott Miller has no say over what I can and can't do, and he never will. And I'm here to support my boy, and I've been supporting this event because I fucking love battle rap, Tom. Do you know what I mean? I love this shit so much, and I want to see a good event live. And unless you can look me in the eye and tell me why you feel uncomfortable next to me, Like, I mean, because I mean, obviously, what's he gonna say? Oh, well, you stole money. Okay, right. I stole some money off you 2 years ago, and I've done everything I can to sort it out. And now you can't be in the same room as me because your girlfriend's told you I'm bad news. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're pushing 30, mate. Like, you gotta have real life conversations sometime, man. You just gotta be a man, bro. Like, I know they're trying to say, oh, kill this, try to be a man shit, but some situations, in that situation, I know every single person in that venue was thinking, why is Freddie not being a man? It's coming in. Because I said to Shocks and I said to Ambi in two different conversations, why am I talking to you? Why am I talking to you? Why am I talking to you? Oh, because he doesn't want to come out. Tell him we can chat about it, and I'll tell him I will not get in his way. And he chose to stay inside. And at least now people can see, how can I run a business like that, bro? Whether you think that's right or wrong, how can I run a business with someone who can't speak in any situation, who I can take to a meeting and doesn't give any points, and the guy asks me all the questions that I take here, and same thing. I remember after an event, there was an event in Manny about 2 years ago, because obviously I love Freddie as a person, you know, I was always trying to push him, and I wanted him to be the best version of himself. And it's like we were in a restaurant after an event, and we're in this restaurant, and we were sitting with these two girls, and they were kind of taking the piss, not taking a piss, but making little comments about how quiet he was. So I'm trying to, like, do you know what I mean? Tell them, nah, do you know what? He's got a great personality. Like, nah, don't say that. You know, trying to keep the situation under control. You know, trying to keep it under control, because I can see they're getting a little bit cheeky or whatever. And I remember exactly what I said. I was like, oh, you lot don't even know. Like, this guy is so sociable. And then they were like, what do you mean sociable? He hasn't said a single word since we've been sat here. And I was like, sitting there like, there's not really anything I can say to that, because it's like, it was the truth. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there with these two. We weren't trying to pull him or anything. We were just talking to him. But it's like, we're in this restaurant, and I'm trying to tell two girls that somebody's sociable, but the person I'm trying to say is sociable hasn't said one word since we fucking sat down. So it's like, they're laughing at me like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And it sounds like a funny story to recount or whatever, but it's like, the reason I remember it is because I remember the embarrassment I felt of, like, this is my friend, I'm trying to push him out there, I'm trying to be like, bro, we need to be more out in the world and get shit done, and you're not giving me anything to work with at all. And it's like, that event, however cringy it was that happened, I'm glad that it happened, because it's shown, it's given like a bigger, like, him saying he's not comfortable around me has given, in my opinion, a bigger backstory to the way things have been for a longer time. And I know that maybe a lot of people won't necessarily agree with that and won't see the connection, but I know that some people will. And to me, it was like the real Freddie coming out, because a lot of people, I think, as I said, they do mollycoddle him a hell of a lot, and he gets away with a hell of a lot just for being Freddie the quiet one. But it's like, I think in that situation, it's like, okay, but there's someone you really don't have an issue, said you have a problem with, and you're sending two people that he doesn't really know to deal with it. And that's, to me, you know, that's not an acceptable way to deal with it. Like, it would have been a 5-minute conversation. Like, hey, Rowan, I still think the way you've acted is very irresponsible. I don't really want you to come in. And then we could have had an argument, and we could have squashed it and said, you know, don't worry about it. But instead, it just left a really sour taste in my mouth. I'll be honest with you, as you can probably hear, it left a really, really sour taste in my mouth. Because I was just like, wow, like, you really have no balls. Like I really thought you had some, but hiding behind, you know, arrogant, outward kind of people like Bagnall has driven you even further in your shell, and now you can't even fucking talk to me. And it's like, I know people don't want to hear this shit because Freddie's their little savior, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not coming on your show to try and make friends. I'm just speaking facts, bro. I'm not trying to impress people, get love on a fucking dickhead forums, like get new battlers. I'm not trying to do any of that shit, bro. Like, I'm just trying to say how things have been for me and how things are. And it's like, I've been advised, yeah, keep Freddie's name out of your mouth. And it's like, no, I'm not going to, because he's kept my name in his mouth clearly. He's posted online saying, I'm disappointed in Rowan. Well, do you know what, bruv? I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed that you let a bunch of idiots that we mistakenly brought on board mess up our friendship and mess up our business relationship, which as a whole was okay. It had a lot of problems in it, but it was okay as a whole, you know? And it's a shame. it's a shame that this is where it's got to. You know what I mean? Like it's a big
Absolutely.
shame. I'm sure as a fan you see that.
Yeah, it's just you guys, especially you and Kruger, is just legends of the scene. Kind of, we've known you since battle rap. We've known about battle rap, so it's just sad to see it all broken up.
Oh, it is sad, mate. And however much I dislike the guy, I hope I haven't said hate in this interview, because I don't hate him, bro. I can't hate him. I strongly dislike him. I hate Liam for what Liam's done and for how Liam's broke everything up, and how I suppose I hate a lot of the fans for letting Liam believe he is who he is when he's no one. But I think with Freddie, I strongly dislike his behavior. But overall, it's depressing, bro. Of course it is. You know what I mean? I didn't leave Empire like fuck Kruger, blah blah. I was just like, bruv, like, is that what it is? Like I was like, when is this guy gonna grow up? Like, fucking hell, like that. That's how I left. I didn't leave hating him. I just left like, this is so sad. Like, this guy has been looked after and wrapped in cotton wool to the point he can't fight a single battle for himself, because he's used to, Bagnall texting him, telling him he's doing the right thing. And then when Bagnall was very clearly, missing from the event, and when he's by himself, it's like, man, you need to stick up for yourself. But it is a shame. Of course it's a shame to reach that point when me and Freddie were the ones on the coach to every event. Like, I don't forget any of that shit, man. I don't ever get it twisted because I dislike him now. I haven't forgotten a single thing that we did, bruv. Like, and I seriously think if Liam wasn't involved, if his girlfriend wasn't involved, if enough people weren't involved, we'd still be tight as fuck, bro. And something as irrelevant as a tiny amount of money would not have split us up. And we would have still been them two people on the coach to every event, train here, flying to Glasgow, do you know what I mean? Blah, 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 getting fucking drunk as fuck and flying home and just having a great time. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was us. It was R2's thing. He was the reliable cameraman. I was the good host. And it was what it was, bro. Like, but I think one of the saddest things about it, this is what I said to him, actually, when we first started discussing everything, and like saying there was problems and whatever. One of the saddest things about it is that a lot of people outside of forums, like, I know it's very hard to believe that life outside forums exists, but outside of forums, a massive percentage of battle fans think that Don't Flop is either run by just me or me and Liam, because Freddie has just never been present enough. You know what I mean? And it's like, everyone's wanted him to be, obviously, like, no one that's friends with Freddie or works with Freddie has ever wanted anything but for him to be active and, like, you know what I mean? I've had fucking long chats with his family about it and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Real life shit, bro. This ain't some fly-by-night friendship like Bagnall or Callum or like them pricks, like, who are not nice people. Like, oh my God, my nose is so blocked. But like, it's not that. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I've had real chats with his family about him because I care about him. Like, that's the difference. And it's like, bro, I hate that it's reached a point where the fans have gassed Bagnall so much that now that people, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but a big percentage of people I meet, just like fans on the street, fans at events, whatever, they will often say, oh, it's you and that guy Liam that run it. And I'm always like, obviously now I say, well, actually, no, it's just me. But before I'd always be like, oh, actually, no, Liam's a shareholder, but it's actually Freddie. And they're like, and a lot of them will be like, oh, what, Kruger the battler? I'm like, yeah. They're like, he's sick. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I'm like, yeah, he's a director, bruv. And they're like, oh shit, I had no idea. Like, so, do you know what I mean? It's sad. It's sad that that's where it's got. Especially when I liked Freddie and didn't like Liam, and I'm like, bro, I don't want Liam to be taking credit for our work. Like, this is our thing. Like, we let him on board. He's meant to film, not be taking credit for big decisions we've made. Like,
and what do you think about them all working for UniLad now? Because inarguably they've gone on to great things from Don't Flop.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the UniLad thing is funny to me because it suits Liam a lot, because Liam is somebody that he needs to be able to big himself up. And I think one of the funniest, I'm so glad you brought it up, actually. I'm so glad you brought it up. Like, one of the funniest things, or if not the funniest thing that Liam said on the one about me, is when he said, "I don't like to talk about working for UniLad." Like, you have to understand, bro. Do you know the amount of people I've spoke to that was busting up laughing about that? Because like, you have to understand, like Liam, like he has, because he has nothing else, like apart from this camera persona. Like he, quite literally will talk about UniLad non-stop. Like, and I mean, you'll sit opposite him and you'll be like, okay, what about my life? And he will just talk about UniLad and how great his life is. And it's honestly to the point that that sometimes you kind of just laugh because you're so unaware of how no one cares about this UniLad thing. But the funniest thing is that this is, as I spoke a lot about how it's the scene that he has to cling on to for people to like him. It's like, what's funny is that people I know that have met him and not known who he was cannot stand him because of the UniLad thing. Like there's a female friend I've got from Norwich who very randomly ended up in a pre-drinks with him or something. And the funny thing was, this was actually when me and Liam were still friends. And she texted me and was like, I think I'm with your friend Liam. And she described him. I was like, yeah, that's him. And she was just like, he is an absolute wanker. And I just burst out laughing and was like, what? Why? Because I still, obviously we had all these issues, but I still we were still all right. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, mate, I just met him and all he has done is talk at me for half an hour about UniLad. And it's like the jokes thing is like, then through different connections with other people, I ended up in a fucking off license one day and met like friends of his girlfriend or some shit like that, and somehow I said I do Don't Flop. They were like, oh my god, you know Liam Bagnall? I was like, yeah, I mean I don't like him but I know him. And they said the same thing. They were just like, mate, he's such a wanker. And I was like, I know, like this is the funniest thing. It's like, even when I liked him I knew he was a prick. And it's like, you sit on these forums and you see these people tweeting him and posting Bagnall is king. You see Daddy Jack, oh, my event is valid because Bagnall's filming. It's like, bro, this guy is a wanker. He's a self-obsessed, egotistical wanker. And all he has to talk about is UniLad. So it's like, it's so funny that it's like, when they started working there, right, it was a good thing. And let me explain why it's a good thing, right? Because it took some of the weight off my back, because obviously we've always had these issues with payment. Always been the major stress that has, quite literally kept me up at night has been been money and paying other people and working out how to do it and stuff. And when he got that job, he was the first one to get it. When he got the job, it was like, okay, so I'm hoping this will, change. And I think for a period it did kind of help, because it was like he got this, regular salary, so there's less stress on me. But I think what's been the worst thing about them working there is that because Liam has never wanted to let go of his hold on battle rap, what it's been is that he'd obviously, he's getting whatever, 30, 40 grand or whatever he's getting paid there, way more than I could ever pay you. So of course he's putting in from quite, from basically the first day he starts work there, he's putting in, non-stop work there, always going to work. I completely respect that. Why the fuck not? And I was always behind it. I was never bitter about it. I never said, oh, you've left, don't flop. Never, brother. I was like, yeah. But what fucked me off is that the more time he put in that, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that like he should have been realized, I need to let someone take my place in Don't Flop. But what happened was, this is mainly, let's say 2016 when he started working there. What happened was he got more and more involved in UniLad, right? But then less and less. And I mean, literally most of 2016, he would pop up in the staff conversation. I would like 2 times a week, maybe once a week. Maybe I'm being generous. Maybe like once a week. It's because all he cared about was this new cool job that he'd got. And it's like, I'd be sitting there like, again, you've trapped me in a fucking corner where if I say anything bad, you're going to tweet about me and say that I'm a fucking piece of shit, whatever, and I'm a bad boss, because you can't just possess the maturity to have a conversation where you should really let me say, look, I'm really happy you got this sick job, but there's 20 people in my inbox, and that's being generous. Like it's probably fucking 200, like in my inbox, waiting to film for us. Please, can you just relinquish this like main cameraman personality thing you've created? You do your UniLad thing, pop up to your events nowadays. Because if you ever came to an event in 2016, it's hard to think back, but any event in 2016, Bagnall would turn up and he'd always be on this kind of like high and mighty weird vibe where he'd kind of be like, and he'd say things. I think it was like sunburn where I think Tox battled Jay Shaw.
Oh yeah,
it was
Sunburn
that event.
3, yeah.
Yeah, it was Sunburn 3, and I remember very clearly, before he started filming the first battle, I remember he was like, wow, haven't done this in a while. And I was just like, oh, shut up, bruv. Like, how many references to UniLad do you have to have a day? It's like, we get it. You're not around as much because you've got a cool job. Like, fuck off, bruv, please. Like, and this is what I mean. It's just like anyone that doesn't know him as Bagnall the cameraman and just meets him as, hi, I'm Liam, thinks he's a wanker because he just talks about UniLad, doesn't ask anyone anything about themselves. Like, bro, remember the event where Quill was, I would say, battle Blizzard, where Quill was meant to battle Blizzard.
Oh yeah.
Bro, the train journey up to that event, I'm not lying, mate. I was actually laughing out loud at certain points. We got on a train in London. I swear on my life, bro, my man did not stop talking about himself till we got off in Manchester. No, I remember I was sitting there like, I'm living in this shit situation. You know I'm like, I have things going on in my life. Like, I've got worries like everyone else. I've got a life like everyone else. I'm just looking at this motherfucker dead in his eyes. And I'm like, you actually don't give the remotest fuck about anyone but yourself, do you? And he's just there firing off. I did this with you, lad. Fuck this girl off Tinder, did this with UniLad, fuck this girl in Germany, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, like, bro, like, if you include me in the conversation, I'm the kind of guy, I fucking love them chats, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would be more than happy to get involved in that chat if you're just like, so how's everything for you once in a while? But, like, bro, I just remember it so clearly that, like, that's why I've never been able to say until now. Like, that was one of the reasons it was more of a shit day, because I spent 2.5 hours being talked at about how great his life is. And how many girls love him, and then we get to Manny, and then obviously the Quill shit happens, and I'm like, oh man, and it was just like, excuse me, it was just funny, it was just a funny thing, and it was like, and again when he came on your show, obviously I clocked the little lie he told about the UniLad thing when he said, what did he say? He said, it just makes me laugh. He said, what did he say? Something about that I asked for a job, and he said, oh yeah,
you wanted to be a producer, I think.
Right. It's just, he's so, because he says things, he's a clever guy. I'd never say Bagnall weren't clever, mate. Like, he says things that sound very believable. But what actually happened was that they started working there. He'd probably been there, I'd say this was like mid 2016, so around the time of that Quill Blizzard event. He'd probably been there since November 15, so he'd like probably settled in, always, obviously, as I said, always talking about how good it was and whatever. So Freddie started working there as an editor. Him and Freddie, but side note, Freddie very awkwardly told me he was going to start working for UniLad, and again, very not, non-direct, but whatever. So we went for a drink when them two finished work. And like I said, I'm just going to be real. Like, I'm not going to try and make myself sound cool. What I said was, I was like, I feel like it's time to call in a favor. I know that's exactly what I said. I was like, I feel like it's time to call in a favor. Because I was like, you two know I've done a lot for you two. I've really put, Bagnall, he even said on your thing, I wouldn't be who I was without Don't Flop or whatever. It's like, I've put Bagnall on a lot. I put Freddie on in a lot of ways. I've really pulled Freddie to a lot of things he wouldn't have done without me. And I kind of said to him, look, I want to call in a favor. Like, I want to get in on this fucking cool thing. Now, this is the funny bit. The Bagnall, because he thought I'd probably, never pull him up on it, or I'd forgotten. He said to you that he responded something about, I just don't know how I could hire you, or something like, kind of, he made it sound that he was like, Rowan, like, you haven't got any talents, like, and which is obviously bollocks, because one, I have got a lot of talents and he knows that, and two, he just wouldn't have the balls to say that. What actually got said was, he was like so supportive. Like, he's such a liar, bruv. Like, he was so supportive, and he was like, "So what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I've got fucking, years of presenting experience. I'm quite a respected, YouTube. If we're gonna be honest, fairly respected YouTube presenter. And I was like, I got a lot of recognition just in the streets and stuff, just from presenting. So I was like, I feel like I'd love to present, like a UniLad, documentary or a fucking skit or whatever." So Bagnall says to me, he is like, right. So basically, they've just stopped hiring, but he was like, in like 6 months, he was like, yeah, in 6 months, if you still are on this, I'll put your name forward and blah 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 blah. He was so on it, bro. There was none of this shit he said about, oh, I didn't want Rowan's weird vibes in the off. No, bro. He was down. Don't get me wrong. He obviously wanted to do everything he could to keep me out of the situation because it was his thing. And I like almost what I was saying to you earlier about, like, I speak to certain battlers that I know are looking for a reason to try beef me because I find it so funny, so pathetic. And it was almost like that. Like, deep down, I kind of knew he's got this thing, which, bear in mind, let's not ever ignore the fact he got only because of Don't Flop. The only reason UniLad hired him is because of Don't Flop. So he's got this thing that he wants to see as just his own thing. He doesn't want to bring anyone aboard, whatever. But he kind of, so whether he fobbed me off with the answer or not, that, maybe he did. Maybe it was bullshit. Maybe I could have got hired. Who knows? But all I'm saying is he said, in 6 months' time, come back to me, and if you're still on it and you've got like a portfolio, whatever, I'll definitely put you in. Because he was like, the funniest thing is he was like, yeah, they obviously love you because their fans don't flop. So he was like, yeah, my bosses love you, like they'd love to work with you. And then he comes on your thing. And he's like, oh, well, my bosses know about Rowan. It's like, no, bro, your bosses only know what you've told me about. They've met me and been nothing but civil. Like, I've met the guys that run UniLad probably 5-6 times, but different places, both of them different places, whatever. Like, stayed round one of the guys' houses and shit. And like, we're not friends or nothing, but like, we're on hello terms. And it's like, bro, like, they do not believe. I'm not saying they don't believe you, but I'm saying if they do, they don't believe it because they think it about me. Because I've had no dealings with them ever. It's just been like a friendly little engagement. And it's like, yes, I fully believe you that if you and Freddie are sitting in the UniLad office non-stop calling me a prick, after a point, they're just going to believe it. Just like the fans, half the fucking reason I'm doing this is just so people who are like want to support me but are feeling a bit weird about it. As I said, it's not the ones that have like turned their back. It's like, fuck you, I don't want you as a fan. But people who are like, I want to support her, but I don't know. It's like, well, no, you need to hear my side of it. Because I can understand, like, of course, the fucking UniLad bosses are never going to want to work with me ever if all they're being told is, doesn't pay people, is late, is rude, is this. It's like, come on, man. Do you know what I mean? Before any of this beef, you were the one telling me, come meet me in the office, come to this fucking part, all this bollocks. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such... His whole battle rap resume was just filled with these like funny little half truths. And this is what you got to understand about Bagnall. Like, in real life, Bagnall is allowed to get away with it because no one challenges him. And like, talking about UniLad, it's for example, he really wanted. He's always said, again, to try have this like altruistic image. He says that, like, I love hiring people that I feel are more talented than me. It's such a fucking lie, bruv. He's brought a lot of man onto UniLad, like, fair play. He's got a lot of people paid, and I respect that much. But not a single one of them is a threat to him, and he doesn't believe that. And if he believed it, mark my fucking words, bro. If he ever came across a cameraman that he thought was better than him, he would make sure he ran a mile, because they're always at risk of taking his spot. Because all someone has to do to be better than Liam is to be good at filming and to be a nice person. And it's like, that's why he was, when he took on this job, I was kind of like trying to hint, like, okay, that's great. Like, they're a big team, brilliant. But I'm just like, if you're going to be a Don't Flop less, can I, and I'm having these conversations in my head or whatever. And I'm just like, I could never say this to Liam. I could never even ask. Just the respect, just that mutual respect of like, you're getting more money. Let me put myself in a situation where I can get more money. Freddie joins the same thing. It's like, I'm happy for him to get more money because the time Freddie joined, 2016 monetarily was a very shit year for us. 2017 started very well, but 2016 very, very shit year monetarily. So I'm like, same for Freddie. I'm like, man, like, that takes a fucking load off your mind. You know what I mean? You're getting paid whatever you're getting paid a month. That's a salary. Well done. But it was just this kind of like weird way that he told me, where it was like, I don't know. It's a weird manner that he told me in, like kind of slipped it in a conversation, like it was something that was like taboo, but it was kind of like you could have just texted me and said, "Hey man, just to let you know, like, I've been speaking to Leo. He's gonna get me a job," And the others, I mean, who else works for you, lad?
Callum, Bam.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, I'm not going to drop people in it, but I mean, two different people have said to me that people in the Manchester office have already said Callum's an absolute annoying cunt, which is like, it doesn't surprise me. And again, I'm not going to drop people in it, but yeah, basically it's one of those like someone told someone who told me whatever. That basically like two or three people in the Manchester office have unsurprisingly said that Callum's a fucking know-it-all and he's an annoying prick because he is both those things. But again, if me and Callum were still cool, I would have been nothing but happy for him, mate. Honestly, like seriously, I really, really would have been. I've got no problem with people making money. I want people to succeed. Like I seriously, like this is actually one of the things I wanted to talk about with you. Is that like, I think I don't mind the lies about, oh, you didn't answer the, phone to daylight, or all the stupid lies. Like I let them pass, whatever. But I think what's hurt with this situation is the way that they've tried to do it and portray me as like a bad, unreliable, like human being, not even a colleague, like just like a bad person. And it's just like, that is what fucks me off, because it's like, all you lot, such a bunch of thrown together weirdos, and it's like you've got kind of the audacity to talk about me and my character. And I said Bagnall's got to analyze my character and try and come across like I hire talented people. It's like, no, bruv, you hire people, every single person apart from let's say Charlie. Like, he's always loved Charlie, but apart from Charlie, he's bitched about every single person, their film work, their editing work, like every single person he's brought on board to UniLad, he's bitched about. And from what I've been told, he still bitches about to this day. And it's like, apart, like I said, he's always rated Charlie. But again, he does not, this is no offense to Charlie at all, but he does not think by any stretch of the imagination Charlie is more talented than him. He 100% sees Charlie as a less talented version of himself. And if he thought Charlie was any more talented, he would be like, oh, sorry, come back in 6 months or whatever bullshit he would have said. Like, and yeah, I mean, with Bam working there, I said it's just funny. Like, it's just, I see the little like clips and stuff, and it's just funny that he's created a persona. But I almost respect it. Like, I think he's a dickhead for how much he turned on me. But I mean, I almost respect, if you know anything about Bam, like his on-camera persona is just like, and like the way he tries to kind of get cocky and witty, like it's just not him. Like, he's a quiet guy who just sits there and just cries 24/7 and moans, and it's just like he just moans about everything and everyone and hates absolutely everybody as well. So that's what was funny. And I think, to be honest with you, the main thing I think about the UniLad thing is the hypocrisy of it. I think that as well as I respect them getting a job there, I think my only issue with like the UniLad upper team is and I actually said this to Freddie. I said this in writing to Freddie, that I think it's very hypocritical of them to be hiring people like Bagnall, because all them lad Bibles, UniLads, they're very much on this, like, men should speak to each other, men should whatever. And men should talk about this, and suicide rates are up, and obviously I respect that a hell of a lot. I think if you've got a big platform, talking about suicide, definitely do that. But what I find so funny, is how those companies represent that. But if we're going to be, really blunt, like Bagnall especially, and Callum to a degree, and Kruger to a smaller degree, what they've tried to do, I'm not going to, throw accusations around and say they've tried to make me kill myself. Of course not. But they've tried to break me as a man, right? And they still are to this day. When they hear this, you'll notice everything I'm saying will start to come true, and you'll realize there'll be no admissions of guilt, because with them lot, there's never an admission of guilt. I need to make a point that the first time I ever emailed Freddie and put Liam's name in it, as soon as Liam saw his name, he was yet again tweeting about me. There'll be no text of apology. There'll be no admissions of guilt. What there'll be is more anger, more bullying, more attempts to take me down and whatever. And this is what I think is unfair. And I'll be honest, I'll be really honest. There's been times that I've wanted to because I got the guys on Facebook or whatever, just message them on Facebook and be like, you've employed these people. I just want to know, what do you feel about employing people as you're a company that's meant to represent men being able to express themselves? And I can tell you, all they have ever tried to do is tell me to not express my feelings. Anytime I've held something in and I've said, look guys, this is really pissing me off, I've been told to shut up and grin and bear it. Especially by Liam. Liam has always been like, but let's be very clear, when it's Liam having a problem, when it's Liam's nephew going missing, when it's this thing bad, when anything bad happens in Liam's life, everything has to be about that. And you can't speak up about anything. You can't ask him for a glass of water. You can't do anything. If anything goes wrong in Liam's life, it's all about him and how it makes him feel. But if something goes wrong in your life, like, bro, people don't even know the shit that's happened in my life last couple of years, because I chose to not talk about it. Because I was like, I'm not going to tell these fake people to give me fake love and support on it. But Bagnall will stub his fucking toe and do a bloody 5-page post about it, being like, please donate so I can go to fucking, private hospital and get surgery. It's just like, bruv, like, so I think with UniLad, I find it funny because obviously I'm not really someone you can bully. Like, I'm not really someone you can't make. In all that they've tried to bully me, they haven't altered any of my decisions. Like, as we said earlier, it's like all they've done is meant that Freddie hasn't got paid back. But it's like what they've tried to do is bullying, and it's like it's the word that everyone has tried to avoid. And it's time we said it. It's time. We've been speaking. Oh, sorry, I apologize. I've been speaking for hours. I am sorry if I'm boring you, but I have been speaking about many words or whatever. But it's really time I was really upfront about it and said, boys are very. It's very emasculating to say the word bullying. But, what they have tried to do is bully me to the point I would succumb to it and either go ghost, go AWOL, and leave them with the keys to the channel or whatever, or go crazy and post some wild post about fuck the world, blah 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 blah. I think they've just kind of let up a little bit now. Apart from, obviously, I dropped the event and Bagnall was straight away, this is shit. It's like, shut up, you mug. But apart from that, I think they're realizing now, and I think even more after this, when people hear me speak, like that, like people are starting to get very bored of their bullying, because it's like if you're gonna bully someone, like, do it to like someone it's gonna have an effect on. It's like, you nearly affected me, and that's pissed me. I'm still pissed off at myself enough for 8 months ago when I nearly shed a tear. And it's like, bro, just give up. You are never going to break me. I'm too secure in myself, knowing that I'm a good person, and I know in response how terrible they are as people, that it's like, you're not gonna break me. So it's like you can't be running around representing this company that's meant to be about men should speak, suicide is terrible, we can prevent suicide. Okay, but then how about when your boy is crying out to you saying, I feel like I'm fucking trapped in the corner and I'm invisible? How about you listen to that person instead of, pushing him away? Like, and it's just, I just find that so funny. Like, I just think, and the way just that thing of just, I don't think I've made a big enough point about it, bro. The thing of, I don't like talking about UniLad. It's like, it's all he has. Like, he can't pull a girl without saying, I work for the biggest Facebook page in the world. It's like, bruv, like, you just, he can't start a conversation. Like, you meet me, bruv. You meet me in a pre-drinks. You meet me in a bar. I'm going to say, hi, I'm Rowan. And we're going to talk about fucking light bulbs or some shit, bro. Like, you're not going to hear me go, oh, well, actually, I run a battle rap. Bro, I swear to God, if you know Bagnall at all, it is not difficult to believe how comfortable he is just talking about, this is all the cool shit I've done, these are all the hot girls I banged. And it's just like, that doesn't make you a good man. It makes you a very empty person. It's just like, it's funny. So again, talk about how I feel. It's like, as I've said, there's many hypocritical things. They want one thing one way and one thing the other. One thing that I remember very clearly is when Bam first started working for it. We were in Atlanta for, when Shuffle T battled Carter Deems.
Yeah.
Right, great trip. I'm no complaints about the trip. Had a fucking great time with all of them. And me and Liam were in a room, and Liam, same thing as he was with the Quill thing, was just talking about fucking girls and whatever, and just UniLad, but it's quite cool because I think it was that was it. It was that Freddie and Shuffle had girlfriends, and me and Liam didn't. So we were like, oh, we'll split it up like that because it made more sense. So Freddie and Shuffle stayed in the room, and me and Liam, it was nice. I didn't really mind. He was like just talking a lot of shit about his life, and I was like, yeah, it's all right, whatever. Had quite a good time, and then Bam had just been brought on to UniLad. And Liam was getting messages from the other people who worked there. I'm not going to, say their names. I don't really know them. But the other people that worked at UniLad were messaging Liam, like, who the fuck is this person you have brought on board? Because basically with Bam, it's like Bam online, when he's got time to word his stuff and say, oh, I'm so funny. In reality, Bam is a moody cunt 24/7. And again, he was always given loads of leeway. He was always moody, would always take it out on me for absolutely no reason. Then the second I was ever a little bit moody, I was berated completely. So we're out there. And it's like Liam's getting these texts, and he was saying to me, he was like, "Fuck's sake, man!" He was like, obviously, because he's pissed off, because the same way he tried to keep me away from the company because he supposedly thought I'd fuck it up. Same with Bam. Liam and Bam are boys, but Liam knows Bam's a moody cunt. So Liam was saying to me, he was like, "Fucking hell, man!" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Well, I've told Bam, don't be a weirdo. If I bring you in, don't be a weirdo." And he's been there 2 weeks, and now they're texting me saying, you need to come back. He's doing our fucking heads in. Now, what the point of this story is that I knew there and then that wouldn't affect their friendship. Because why should it? This has been a big point of mine, that it's like, I don't mind if you say I'm useless, I'm a prick, whatever. We can say that shit, but we should be able to move on from it. So Liam's standing with me, and for about half an hour, he's saying, I can't believe Bam. I'm so angry at Bam. And I'm sitting there like, but when you get back to UK, you'll have a little word with him, and it'll be squashed. And I'm saying I don't have a problem with that. I think that's how situations should be handled. But it's like, with me, I'm telling you, say he did get me a job, and him and Bam were on a trip, and he got one message, oh, Rowan turned up 5 minutes late to the office today. The texts I would get off him, like, bro, if you lot have seen some of the texts he has sent me over the years, the aggressive, horrible texts he has sent me over the years, just trying to bully me, basically. Like, that's an example. He would have been like, I've got you this fucking job, and you disrespect me, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe you. Why did I ever think you could be an adult, blah, 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 whatever. And instead, exactly like I thought, he was pissed off at Bam for like a day, comes home, and it's cool. And it's just the same shit over and over again. Like, so many examples of the hypocrisy. Like when we signed to a thing called a multi-channel network, which we were with for a short period of time because they made us no money. When we signed with them, Liam would use that in arguments to try and tell me that that he's more valuable than me. And he'd always be like, well, who found us a network? And I'd say, okay, but the network hasn't really done anything for us yet. And it's like, we ended up actually leaving the network. Do you remember that battle that was online temporarily with Shuffle T and Marlo licking the Oreos?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so it was through that agency we did that. And the reason we left the agency was because over a year, we only got that one piece of work. So we said to them, look, this is not really, we're giving you money and you're not doing anything. So it's like, again, if I was the one who had been running my mouth like, oh, I found us an agency, I've killed it, you could bet your fucking bottom dollar, mate, that the day we left, Liam would have been like, don't know why we even did that. What a waste of time. I told you we should have done it. But because it's Liam, and he can't take any criticism of himself, we leave it, and deep down, he was saying, oh, God, what a waste of time. We were all saying, fucking hell, I can't believe we gave them like whatever % of our ad revenue every month. They did nothing for us. And I'm there thinking, the only reason we did that is because Liam told us to. And now it's flopped, and all of us are meant to just keep our mouths shut, get on with our day, and just be like, oh, no problem. We just wasted a year of our lives. Who cares? And that's what I mean. It's the same thing. It's, the treatment of other people, like literally in front of me, I would see them lot treat someone a certain way and then treat me completely differently. Do you know what I mean? Like, and just there's just been So many examples. Yet another example. We were going to film. You remember? Do you remember the guy who used to cook at our events called Sam Lowndes?
Yep.
Right. So we were going to film at Sam Lowndes' house. Right. This is probably about 2016. So Bam's just started working for UniLad. We were going to go to Sam Lowndes' house to film like a game show cooking thing between like Shuffle and Marlow or something. It was going to be hilarious. Now, we end up cancelling it because last minute, Bam got invited to Comic-Con, right? So again, I just have to sit there, like standard, whatever, just in the corner, can't speak up, can't say anything because I'll get my head bitten off if I even say, well, Sam's actually put aside an entire weekend for us. This is quite rude. But it starts off Bam saying, oh, maybe, I don't know, I think I might go Comic-Con. And eventually he just comes out and is like, yeah, I mean, basically we're gonna have to cancel this weekend because I'm going to go to Comic-Con instead. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. Like, because obviously, Comic-Con's once a year or whatever it is. Like, we can go to maybe Sam's next month. But I remember at the time being like, it's the principle, though. It's the principle that we have planned this thing. I've been texting Sam nonstop, planning a weekend, texting Shuffle and Marlow, texting all these people. We've planned this whole thing. And now it all flops because you've got a better choice in London. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, mate, but if that was me, I'm telling you, if I was the one that said, hey guys, sorry, if I said I've got a better opportunity than Don't Flop, and it was a weekend that none of them had anything on, and they wanted to do Don't Flop, fucking hell, bro. They would have torn my head off. Oh my God, this is why me and Rowan, you're so selfish, you don't care about any of us. But when it's Bam, I've just got to go, okay, mate, cool. And then I got to text Sam, which I had to do, hi, mate, sorry, basically the rest of all flopped, so it's not going to happen. And that's fucking embarrassing for me. This guy's given up his time and booked off work and shit to help us out at the weekend, and I've now got to cancel because Bam wants to prance around in a fucking Ant-Man costume for a day, asking people what they prefer out of fucking mango chutney and potato salad, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's like, shut up, mate. Like it's not cool. Like it's not cool, and it's fucking unbalanced, and it's not fair, and it's like, you just sound like a spoiled kid being like, it's not fair, but it's like, bro, you lot got a new job, and all I said was, if the new job's going to affect your Don't Flop stuff, please tell me. You all individually told me this new job will not affect anything that we do. And every single one of them, including Freddie, including all of them, that bit by bit, it did start to affect their work. Whether it is that it affected their ego, it started making them think they're a big man. Whether it affected that they were never around as much. All different ways it affected them, it did affect them. So it's like, it's a great thing for them to have, but it's just like, since they've worked there, it's shown how many lies Liam tells, like how much Bams are allowed to get away with, how indirect Freddie is, and how annoying Callum is. Because all new things have happened and shown all of these things. Now, I can't speak for fucking, Charlie, Saga, all them people, because then, they never were like official staff. They just, as far as I know, got brought on, full time. But it's like, what people don't understand is that, like, because Liam saw with UniLad, it was like a time to make like an even bigger presence and get, respected or whatever. Like, he was very quick to knock down any ideas I had, like, because they'd do something and I'd obviously say, oh, that's really cool, like that thing you filmed today, because I don't know if he does it as much anymore, obviously I don't follow him, but I mean, back in when he first started, he was doing a lot of like campaigns and shit, and like, a lot of like random viral campaigns they were doing. I was like, oh, do you know what, we could do that, like we with just like £100 budget, just for the camera and whatever, and super low budget, we could do something that was similar. That's all I'm saying. Not we can film an Adidas advert or whatever. No, we could replicate something similar, and it might boost our Facebook page or whatever. And he would just never have any of it. Like every single time I brought it up, it would always be like, yeah, no, it's probably not possible. I don't think it's possible. And I'd be like, okay, but like, I'm just saying, in theory, we could do something maybe. No, not possible. Couldn't do it. Not possible. And it's just like, fucking hell, man. Like just that negativity. Like, he talks about his his professionalism and this and that. But it's like, bro, but yeah, you're professional in some ways, but your professionalism comes with this obscene negativity. Like, constant negativity and this downer attitude on everything. Like, you want a don't flop event pops off, and suddenly it's, oh, I've forgotten UniLad. It's don't flop. But as soon as in between a don't flop event, Rowan wants to do something. Rowan wants to, have a go at whatever, making something cool for the channel that's not battle rap but could get us loads of fans. He gets so worried, and he's so worried that it encroaches on his new territory with his new friends, and he's like, he has to back off. And yeah, it's annoying. Like, it's very annoying.
And going forward then, with Retaliation, which, took everyone by surprise, normal services resume. So Don't Flop's a normal league, events every month now kind of thing, or?
Do you want me to hold on? Let me see if I've still got this on my phone. This will be some exclusives. Hold on, let me. So do you want to hear some of the taglines that didn't make it?
Okay.
Back in business as usual. The Kings are back. Don't call it a comeback. We'll take it from here. Get the strap. Scrap your plans. We make it look easy. Daddy's home. I can't read anymore. There's so many. Anyway, just know that the tagline "normal service is resumed" was a long process of elimination that led to that. But yeah, What do you want to know?
The snake skin on the flyer, right?
Hey, look, come on, mate. What do you want me to say?
No, I like it.
It's, bro, like I've been snaked. It doesn't matter the truth anybody tells you or what people say or whatever. I've been snaked repeatedly, very badly for over a year. So obviously that's the perfect background. Like, come on. Like, it's classy in a childish way. That's all I ever want to be, bro.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, so you said you've sold a few tickets already.
Yeah. Doing all right, mate. Doing all right. I can't remember the exact numbers, but yeah, got sold out of the £5 ones. Got like a few £10 ones left, and it goes up to 15. So yeah, we got like a month. It's just gonna be like a heavy promo. I've left it a little bit this week just to simmer because this was like my priority. To be honest, like coming on here and talking to you, was my priority. But yeah, after this, I'm gonna be like heavy on the promo.
Well, this has been enlightening. It's been 3 hours of, long form exploration. Like, I mean, has it just been painful? Did you sometimes just dwell on it and it just, are you just over it?
I think this is like another big step to being over it. You know what I mean? It's having my say and letting people hear that I'm a real person. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what I've covered and what I haven't, to be honest, but it's just like I'm not too bothered about that. It's more just like I said, I just want people to understand that like I am like a real living, breathing, thinking person. I know it sounds like a silly thing to say, but it's like I think that's why these things are important, because like I think if you don't hear from me, I've realized that now, that it's like if you don't hear from me, I see how it can seem like I'm kind of just this cartoon villain. You know what I mean? And Tox, you got people like Tox always going, "Oh, just live up to it." And I'm like, bro, but it's not me though. Like if it was me, like then I'd obviously be happy to live up to it. But it's not me. It's an image that's been created by people who want to take me out. So because I know that it's not me, it's like I can't let that happen. So it's I don't know. It's like I said many times in the interview. It's like it's come close to breaking me, and it hurts me. It hurts me to say that. Like it does hurt me to say that it's come close. That's come close to doing it, because it feels like I suppose I'm still stuck in this like 90s noughties mentality of like men can't show emotion or whatever. But it's like yeah, it hurts, but it's true. But I think there's still days, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say since next in line I manned up and I've never. No way. Like, there's definitely still. I'll probably have one next week. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're doing this because it's what has to be done, but it's not the ideal situation for me. It's just like, I will have days. I will always have days. When I see other leagues doing crazy events, of course there'll be days if other leagues do crazy events. Where I'm like. Yeah, where I'm sad, where I'm like that should be my thing. But I mean, I think there's just got to be positive things to focus on. I think this is a huge step because as I always said to you, I told you from day one, as soon as I've got an event that, as soon as I've got, because I there's no, I don't have to hide that. I don't see the use in me coming on here and talking to you without a reason. And to me, I know everyone else said, well, the reason should be sticking up for yourself. And I get that completely. But it's like, that for me was never enough. It was always like, no, I need to go on there and there needs to be something good that can come from it. And I feel like the good that can come from it is that now people can understand that there's two sides to every story. And they'll also understand that I have never pretended to be perfect throughout everything I've said. And that's all I want people to realize, that between us, it's like that will always be what splits me and them apart. That if you go back to anything they said to you in your interviews, on Twitter, anything, anywhere at an event, anything they've ever said about me, you need to look for anywhere where they've taken a single % of blame. And what I've realized is that, like, what they've done by not taking any blame is they've made people believe that I was literally to blame for everything. And it's like, now I'm like, okay, well, I'm starting my events up again. It's looking good. Like, people want to start battling. I think after hearing this, a lot of people who've been, on the borderline, we're going to come back in, which is good. And it's just like, I think things like this will help there be less shit days. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there'll ever be a time. I don't think there'll ever be a time where I don't think I wish we could have worked it out. Because obviously, I wish we could have worked it out. But from everything I've said, I'm sure you can see that for a time predating everything, everything happening a year ago, from a time way before that, I've always known deep down this can only ever end in tears. And I've always known that because it's like because they're always going to search for someone to validate them from their comments. It can't be a thing where I said, if you care about Don't Flop, walk away from it. You know what I mean? Or they say it to me, if you care about Don't Flop, walk away from it. None of us would ever be able to sit down and have a conversation that was actually mature and like that didn't end up in tweets and arguments. So I would say I've known that since probably 2013. And it's like, so it's sad that it happened, but it's kind of like when I feel sad about it, it's like, okay, but how else could this have happened? Like, there's two ways it could have gone, like it's either it blows up or this bullshit happens and people for a year believe that you're a thief, you're this, you're that, you're whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then you come out and you talk and you say, look, I've got an event, it's coming up, it's going to be fucking banging. Obviously, I've got the little, I've got a little, I haven't even announced yet, actually. I got a thing in the summer. I've got Retaliation on the 22nd. I've got a freestyle event that's at a sick location later on in the summer. And then I might as well announce it on here to kind of end on a proper high. Yeah. So we've got Retaliation on the 22nd, so please buy your tickets for that. Don't Flop retaliation.eventbrite.co.uk. That's on 22nd. I'm soon going to announce this. It's going to be a 100% freestyle event. I've already got a lot of sick MCs down for it. It's going to be in a London location, which is so cool. Never been used before. That's going to be dropping soon. And then, from October, we're going to do a tour because I've done a lot of thinking. And I know all the stuff that went wrong with the Raise the Bar tour. I know everything that went right with it, and I've done a lot of thinking about it. And I'm working in conjunction with an amazing drummer who you're going to see me promoting. It's very random, but an amazing drummer from a band that I've started doing business with, who you're going to see me doing a lot more stuff with. We've just struck up a relationship, and he kind of put the idea to me and was like, look, I thought maybe we could do an event, but the more I think about it, I think we should do a tour. And I told him about the Razor Bar tour and said, I've done one before. It had its ups, had its downs, whatever, had its dead events, had its good events. We're literally talking, 20 people to fucking 500 people. So, as we all want to forget. But yeah, so that's the plan, mate. Is get the summer out of the way, and then October I'll be dropping flyers very soon. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really got lineups yet, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 7 dates. It should be a 10th birthday tour, 7 dates, all cities where we have fairly good followings and have got good turnouts before. The shows are going to be like a really varied mix. Each one's going to be slightly different. It's going to be like some live music with this guy and his band. I'll be hosting. There'll be battles. There'll probably be stand-up comedy as well. I think it's going to be like a show that encompasses all different stuff we've done throughout the years, like music stuff, comedy stuff, film stuff, whatever. And we're kind of going to be touring it around the country in honor of the 10th birthday. Yeah, and then after that, to be honest with you, man, with all these other leagues, I think just keep it low key. Like I think I've done the things where I've tried to do an event every week, and there's just not enough battlers anymore. And I think the leagues are finding that out now. That's why they're having to resort to these battlers who come out and spit 16 lines about a forum post. You know what I mean? Because there's just not enough decent battlers left anymore who still are into it. And I think I'm happy to let these leagues just try work it out between them and share the talent. And I know it's already been watered down. I think it's going to get more watered down. So as far as Don't Flop, I think it needs to stay elite. You know what I'm saying? Like Don't Flop has always been, Don't Flop has always been the elite league. As UK wise, it's always been the elite league, and it needs to remain like that. And I think if it's a big if I can pull off the tour properly, that will solidify us as big boys or whatever. And I think as far as next year, I think obviously there's going to be so many different events happening. I'm not sure if what Chalked Out will do, but I'm sure they'll do some kind of collab again, and then obviously Code Red will do whatever they're doing, and Premier Battles is going from strength to strength. And it's like, I don't really want to be fighting with that. You know what I mean? As far as Don't Flop, it's like I've got this great channel that I can film so much like kind of non-battle stuff for free and just have a great time doing it. And I think I want to make I don't know how many events you came to back in the day, but I really want to make Don't Flop I think it's too naive to think we could recreate the same vibe, because a lot of the people have quit and it's never going to be the same as it was 6 years ago. But I really want to just try and get back some of that magic. You know what I'm trying to say? Because like everyone who goes to these events, I'm trying very hard not to talk shit in a way, but it's like they talk shit about me, so it's like, why not? It's like a lot of people that go to these events do come to me straight away and say these events are shit, Don't Flop events. And I'm not at all everyone, not at all. I'm not saying that at all, because it's not. Some of them I've heard are very, very good, but a lot of the ones that happen, people say it's just kind of like some weird people from Don't Flop events, and a lot of the like better battlers and old fans don't go. You need to bring Don't Flop back, and that's just what got me thinking about the tour. Like I've got to not bring it back completely, because obviously, for example, there's some of the battlers that were big battlers, like say Villain back in the day. I don't like Villain. I'm not going to book Villain, so it's like I can't bring that back. You know what I mean? Like I can't bring Luna back. He doesn't want to battle. I can't bring Shotty back. He's got his own league. It's like so I can't recreate it, but I just want to take it to a point where it's just like there's a little bit of that magic. Like I don't want someone. What I mean is, I don't want someone to come to a new Don't Flop event and be like, this is like another shit Don't Flop event. You know what I'm saying? I want people to come and go, I can see what, I can see what Eurgh's trying to do with this. I can see Eurgh is trying his best. Like with the world title with Quill and DNA, I'm just trying, bro. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do something different. I hit up DNA because he's got that whole champ gimmick going on. He was like, yes, I'm down. I'm down. Quill, big shouts out to Quill, man. He stuck with me through this whole thing. He was on it straight away, bang, bang, bang. He's been texting me. I'm so fucking gassed for the battle. Just shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Making the on-beat title like a regular thing. So it's like showing the musical fans that hate a cappella battle rap that we can do musical stuff and it can be good. I want to make, I'm sitting on quite literally fucking, I don't even know, like 50 to 100 hours of freestyles and ciphers, and I want to put them out. I've got some dropping with big rappers people don't even know I filmed it. It's like I want to get them out, and I want to get more people watching Don't Flop and just get it back to that as close to that old feeling as what it can be. You know what I mean? Like a exciting title, exciting video every 2 days. The events are proper vibes. I feel like Retaliation is going to be a vibe. That's why I really want people to come. I hope you can come. I hope everyone out there can come, because it's like, I want it to be a vibe. I want, because let's be real, like everyone who's there is going to be a real head. You know what I mean? Because people who come to Retaliation are going to be the ones that haven't listened to what them lot have said about me. And I'm just like, do you know what? I respect what Eurgh's doing. Let me give it a go. And like, people have already bought tickets. When I tweeted that thing about I nearly cried, like, brother, I was being serious, mate. I got a notification. I could feel a tear in my eye, because I was like, it's insane. These people have tried to take me down so much for a year, and there's still people out there that will support me and give me money that I can then give to battlers. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it sucks that I'm doing this solo and not with Freddie. Let's never ever forget that, bro. Never ever for a fucking second think that I wake up in the morning and I smile and I smirk in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I can do whatever I want without consulting anybody. Nah, there's no pride in that. There's no happiness in it. It does give me no form of satisfaction. But, you know, it's just the situation I've been left in, and I'm going to make the most of it, and I will not be stopped by anybody regardless. And, you know, and to everybody that's been out there waiting patiently, begging me for do this thing with you, and to you, Tom, and to everybody else, like, just for being patient and just for always giving me the benefit of the doubt that you don't know my side of the story. And for everyone that's already bought tickets, I got to say, you're absolute legends, and it really has lifted my spirits, and I really hope a shitload more of you buy tickets to Retaliation. The guest list is already going crazy, so stop asking me for guest list. Just like, please just come through. It's gonna be so much fun, and it's gonna be the first step for me of putting all this bullshit behind me, forgetting about the toxic stuff in my past, and just trying to launch a positive future for everybody. And any battler that wants to get on board, I mean, bro, just hit me up, man. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're not a hater, and as long as you can have a direct conversation and we'll never fall out about some bullshit, jump on board, let's have some fun.
Yeah, well, we'll put all the links in the description.
Thank you very much.
No, as always, this has been enlightening, and I'm sure we'll have to do another one. We have to do an episode where we'll just go through the history of Don't Flop as well, because
it just feels we wanted to do that so bad. I wish we did it, man. I wish we did it before this shit.
I know. Yeah.
I wish we did it before this shit, because now it feels a bit facetious.
Sour. Yeah.
It's, like, what am I gonna say? Like, because you're gonna know that every good story I'm talking about, you're gonna be like, yeah, but in the back of Eurgh's mind the whole time he was thinking I hate all of you. Yeah. It's like that's a bit sour. Like, I would have happily 2 years ago done it and kept all of my feelings in, but now people know how I've really felt all this time. It's like, it's not that positive, but I feel like maybe we can give it a go, and we can just agree. Anytime I start going off on one about one of them, it's like, no, come back to the story, come back to what was the event like? Because there was so many funny things, bro. Like, I think about Jefferson Price all the time, mate. I think about him all the time. I think, where is he? What's he doing? Is he all right? How is he? How's his child? Like, how's his wife? Like, I think about it all the time. Like, so many funny joke stories with Jefferson Price, with Mickey. Like, obviously hilarious stories of Mickey people don't know about. Like, just even, funny shit with all these people that I'm not on good terms with now. But I would love to go through the history with you, but it's just, if we can just find a way to do it that doesn't come across fucking fake, because I feel like right now it comes across fake, but we'll have to work on that, man, definitely.
Yeah. All right, well, this has been a pleasure. Thanks again.
Yeah, don't flop all fucking day, man. You know the score.